Alright, and we are live here on YouTube for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Circuit of the Americas. The first road course on the NASCAR Xfinity Series season. Hopefully you guys are excited for it. I know I am. We're going to get to see a double dose of Shane Van Gisbergen as he goes up on the screen. Let's go. And I forgot to turn the volume off. Alright, so there we go. We got that all taken care of. So, yeah, we got Kyle Larson, SVG starting on that front row. Then we got a Toyota row 2 with Ty Gibbs and Chandler Smith. Then you got AJ Allmendinger also hanging out in that top 5. That is a stacked top 5, and we are going to be here for a stacked NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Again, Kyle Larson, Cup champion. Shane Van Gisbergen, Road Course Cup Series winner. Ty Gibbs, multi-time Xfinity Series road course winner, including his what was it? His first Xfinity Series start was a win. Ironically, 2 of the top 3 won in their first NASCAR starts at the one at the Xfinity level and one at the Cup level. Then you got Chandler Smith, a former NASCAR Xfinity Series winner, and AJ Allmendinger, notorious king of the road course here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and to some extent at the Cup level as well. So, I mean, that is a stacked top 5 right there. You got Sage Karam, also known as more of a road course guy, driving mostly in the Xfinity Series. He is driving that number 26 Sam Hunt Racing Toyota, starting inside the top 10. You got Sheldon Creed, who was the leader at one point in this race a year ago. Cole Custer comes back to the Xfinity Series this year after a couple years in Cup, and he will be starting in the 8th position. Josh Williams, after a frantic flight this morning, his little baby was born either earlier this morning or late last night, but he was able to fly into Austin, landed a couple of hours ago, and he is at the track and ready to start. P number 11 for Josh Williams. And then Sam Mayer, former road course winner, won, I believe, 2 or 3 road courses down the stretch last year. And say a stacked top 10, and that's not even factoring in the guy starting in P11. You're the guy who dominated the first 2 races of this NASCAR Xfinity Series season, Austin Hill. So that is a quick intro to the top 10, but we are at commercial break. I believe as soon as we get back from this commercial break, we will be getting the command to start the engines. How is everybody doing today? Let's go. We got 5 people hanging out in chat. Thank you guys for everybody that's tuned in. Now up to 7 people. Real quick reminder to go ahead and I'm assuming if you guys are on this, you guys probably have the NASCAR app downloaded. Go ahead and grab yourself those 50 free points from the NASCAR Fan Rewards just for checking in on the race at any point throughout the race event. You guys can pop in there, get yourself a free 50 points that you can use towards events, towards NASCAR merchandise, autographed diecast, race tickets, and much more. So go ahead and get yourself those points. You have the entire duration of the NASCAR Xfinity Series race to go ahead and grab them. There's also they have the weekly question over on the dashboard that you guys can go ahead and answer as well for it. And I say you guys can either go ahead and mute real quick, or I can go ahead and give you guys the answer, but yeah, let's see. Did I get my points for the Xfinity Series thing? See, I have not gotten them, so let's go ahead and try refreshing. There we go. Check in. There we go. I'm checked in, and I have got my points. So, we're continuing to build up this point total. We are now at 1580 on the point total. We are building up our point total. Gonna hopefully be able to build up a ton of points here. But yeah, it is snowing heavy here today, so it's been a long day. Had work, so I wasn't able to cover the NASCAR Truck Series race. But from what I did get to see of it, it seemed like Connor Zilic had an intense day. Way overshot turn 1, shredded a tire after overshooting turn 1, which led to him needing to pit. I believe they even needed to replace a sway arm on that. He ultimately got the free pass, I believe, at the end of stage 1. So he was able to go ahead and get his extra lap back. Then he had multiple issues with the track limits violations in the in and around the road course, leading to more and more times where he had to run back through the field. Ultimately finishes inside the top 5, but wasn't able to rally back to a win after going and getting a final pit stop late in the race to avoid having to be on concern for the fuel. Also, pole sitter of the NASCAR Xfinity Series race, Kyle Larson. He had an issue with his brakes in qualifying. He will have to go to the rear. So will Ty Gibbs, starting third. He will have to go to the rear. A couple of big names there from that top 5 list having to drop to the rear of the NASCAR Xfinity Series race grid here. Ironically, both of them are also the 2 Cup regulars. So anyone who doesn't like seeing the Cup regulars in the Xfinity Series, both of them are getting booted to the rear. We get to see some fun racing as they go running through the field. Alright, so there we go. Got everything introed, and we are pretty much ready to go. Don't want to forget to plug in my phone, because it didn't work all day. Have not had much chance to charge it. And there we go. So, yeah, again, let me know how everybody's day is going. We got 7 people hanging out in here. We got Suarez, Logano, and Adam Alexander in the booth. So, there we go. And we are all set and ready for a exciting day here in Circuit of the Americas. This is also, for any of our international fans, this is the same track that they run the U.S. Grand Prix on in, I believe it's either September or October when they go and run this one for the F1 cars. So, for any of you guys who are coming over from that world, that is a track familiarity that you guys can have. And I know we have had a couple of people asking, hey, when's the first real racetrack? Well, for those of you guys who consider road courses the only real racetracks, which fair point to you, this is a real racetrack to you. In fact, I would be shocked if anybody counts these as not real road or not real racetracks. All right, so Kyle Larson, Sheldon Creed, Ty Gibbs, and John Hunter Nemechek all heading to the rear of the field. So Larson starting first, Ty Gibbs starting third, Sheldon Creed starting 7th, all heading to the rear of the field to start this NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Let's go ahead and see where John Hunter Nemechek was scheduled to start, because he's a pretty good driver too. I'm surprised to not see him up in the top 10 here. Oh, he qualified 20th. Wow, something must have gone wrong on his lap. I did not get to see Xfinity Series qualifying, but yeah, something must have gone wrong there. So your new starting lineup, once the guys get moved to the rear, it will be Shane Van Gisbergen first. Second will be Chandler Smith. Third, A.J. Allmendinger. Fourth, Sage Karam. Fifth will be Cole Custer. Sixth, Josh Williams. Seventh will be Sam Mayer. Eighth, Austin Hill. Ninth will be Parker Kligerman. And rounding out your top 10 starters tonight after the guys get moved to the rear of the field that we just got informed of, Sammy Smith will be rounding out that 10th and final spot inside the top 10. So there we go. All right, we are all set and ready for this one. Hopefully you guys are as excited as I am. We also got the Cup Series race tomorrow. Again, double dose of SVG for those of you guys. I know we've had a couple of international fans from the New Zealand area looking to check out their boy. Well, you got a double dose of him this weekend. You got Circuit of the Americas, and it's a race where he theoretically should do pretty well. Where did he qualify in the Cup race? Because I know he did well. I don't remember where he actually qualified earlier today. All right, let's see. So Shane Van Gisbergen will be rolling off from the 12th position. So Shane Van Gisbergen qualified 12th at Circuit of the Americas. Let's see, where did he practice? So throughout practice, he was 10th quickest in the practice session that they ran earlier today. Only about 1 second off of William Byron, who was the outright fastest by about marginal distance, about 3/100ths of a second between Ty Gibbs and William Byron there. In practice earlier today. Kamui Kobayashi actually had a pretty good practice session in that number 50 Toyota, driving for 2311. Let's see, where did he and that 50 team end up qualifying? Allmendinger will be starting in the 14th position for your other road course ringers. Kamui Kobayashi, though, going to be starting deep in the field. He's starting 25th. For those of you guys who are front row motorsports fans, like myself, the two drivers for that team starting 26th and 27th. Todd Gilliland, Michael McDowell. And where's our other road course guy? Oh, yep, there's Timmy Hill all the way back in 37th. I believe he is kind of your last kind of road course ringer in this race. So you got 3 part-time entries for AJ Allmendinger, Kamui Kobayashi, and Timmy Hill. So, by the way, the reason why SVG is not on that list is because he is in the chartered number 16 entry for the for Colleague Racing. So that car will be running the full season, even though SVG is only in it for I think about 8 races or so. But yeah, it should be a fun time, and it looks like Colleague Racing is committed to bringing a third car out to the track, the number 13 car, for the road courses, to get both SVG on the racetrack and AJ Allmendinger, which for me is a big 1-2 combo to go ahead and see. Hey Chris, how's it going? Alright, let's see. So yeah, they're talking about AJ Allmendinger's road course career. 11 wins in the NASCAR Xfinity Series on road courses. Average finish of 5.5. I mean, it is really just a tough one. And he's won, he's won the last 2 Austin races at Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas. Let's go. Seems like a pretty safe bet. I don't know what the over and under is on him for this race. Let me go ahead and see, even though I can't place the bets because Underdog is no longer available in my state. So yeah, his career at this racetrack, he got second in 2021, first the last 2 years. Average finish of 1.3. I'd be shocked if his over-under is anything less than that. I mean, it's possible the picks are already locked in for that anyway. Oh, okay, so SVG finishing over-under second position. Okay, that makes sense. And I don't even... Oh, wait, no, they included Allmendinger. Average over-under of third? That's a steal right there. I mean, come on. Some of these are really easy finishes to pretty much guarantee, especially if they aren't dropping to the rear. Like, Ty Gibbs might be a little bit harder where he's dropping to the rear, but I don't know. There's a lot of good picks there. But, yeah, there's the highlights there, obviously, of Shane Van Gisbergen driving that number 91 car last year at Chicago. Went out there, won the race and in his very first start, and now he's a full-time NASCAR Xfinity Series driver, and he's going to be driving for the championship this year. Let's go ahead and see where he is, how the Xfinity Series point standings are looking before this race. So we want to go to NASCAR Xfinity Series. So as of right now, Shane Van Gisbergen is 14th in points. Needs to gain about 7 points to go ahead and bump his way into the NASCAR NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs. So, there we go. Or he could just end up winning a race, which is probably the more likely outcome of the two. I mean, granted, he could easily gain 7 points here, but cumulatively to maintain that 7-point buffer, it's a whole lot easier to just go out there and win. And that's what he intends to do here today. And here we go. Let's see. They were just on the radio talking to SVG. And here we go. So again, Kyle Larson going to the rear, so Shane Van Gisbergen will take over that front row position. Ty Gibbs also falling to the tail end of the field. Chandler Smith, I believe, should get promoted to the front row. Oh wait, no, because they were both in the outside lane. I'm completely mistaken. So that's going to promote AJ Allmendinger, I think, to the front row. It's going to be AJ versus Shane Van Gisbergen into turn 1. Colleague Racing teammates. And here we go. Hey, Andrew, how's it going? So, yeah, I completely forgot about the fact that it is based on rows. So, they got doubled up. Now the two drivers, the two Cup drivers there, Kyle Larson and Ty Gibbs, both going to the rear for unapproved adjustments. They will promote AJ Allmendinger onto that front row, which is going to be a bummer for the Cup drivers, but I believe both Kyle Larson and Ty Gibbs have the experience and the speed to get through this NASCAR Xfinity Series field pretty quickly. Oh, we got Ed Jones in the 24 here today. That's nice to see. Nice to see some IndyCar representation. So, yeah, so the 4 drivers going to the rear of the field, in case you guys are just tuning in. John Hunter Nemechek, Ty Gibbs, Kyle Larson are all heading to the rear of the field, along with 7th place qualifier Sheldon Creed. So, your your qualifiers, or your starting grid will now be Shane Van Gisbergen and AJ Allmendinger on the front row. Then I believe the next driver on I think Josh Williams is going to get promoted to inside second row with Chandler Smith to his outside. So then you would have Austin Hill and Sage Karam making up row number 3. Row 4 would be Cole Custer and on the outside, and who's on his inside? That would be Sammy Smith on the inside of Cole Custer for row 4. And row number 5 would be Sam Mayer on the outside, and I believe that would be Justin Allgaier getting promoted to the to that spot. So a lot of guys getting the opportunity to move up here in a 46 lap race here at Circuit of the Americas is lining up for a very good race as we get ready to go green. So hopefully you guys are excited. We got 9 people hanging out in here. Thank you guys for everybody that's tuned in. Of course, hit the like button and subscribe if you guys are new. We've been doing these kinds of streams all throughout the NASCAR season. And as I said, we'll be back we'll be back tomorrow for the Cup race as well. But we still got a full 46 laps of racing here ahead of us here in Austin, Texas. So you got the new restart zone. It is a new restart zone for this year. It is set a lot further back. I didn't get to watch much of the truck race. Was busy with work and stuff. So they've got the braking zones highlighted, but the new restart zone is way further back. Basically, right as you get off of turn number 20, which is gonna be I'm curious to see how that works. I didn't get to see how it worked in the truck race a ton. But it seems like it being that far back is almost going to hurt some of the drivers further back in the field who are still either on that corner or just getting around it when that green flag flies. But versus kind of waiting for almost everybody to get on the main straightaway before you throw it. I mean, I know that waiting until they all get on the main straightaway presents its own host of issues, which is certainly something to be considered, but yeah, there we go. Yep, AJ Allmendinger and Austin Hill have moved up into the top 2 spots there. It's weird to think that... wait, what happened to Josh Williams? Oh, wait a minute. Josh Williams may have had another driver qualify for him, maybe? Because I know his wife just gave birth to their first kid, so it's possible he may not have qualified that car. I believe Daniel Hemrick may have actually done the qualification for that one. We'll have to check. Okay, we got there's a bunch of drivers from everywhere. You got Ed Jones from the UAE. You got, obviously, Shane Van Gisbergen from New Zealand. You got Daniel Kvyat from Russia. You got a pretty diverse field, honestly, today. But, yeah, I have not seen anything about the 11 going to the rear, but that very well could be the case here. Yeah, again, there's the 11, we're still waiting to see if he's going to the rear or not, but I believe that since I've seen the 21 moving up the field. That means Josh Williams might have had to drop to the rear. And yeah, the 11 is nowhere in sight, so I believe the 11 did have to drop to the rear as we get ready to go green. So, man, that is a really big shakeup on the field there. I did not expect to see Josh Williams dropping to the rear. He is going to have a harder time coming through the field, unlike the NASCAR Cup Series drivers and John Hunter Nemechek, Ty Gibbs, and Kyle Larson. Odd to see all three of those Cup drivers get dinged for illegal modifications after the qualifying here. And here we go, going through the final set of corners here under the caution flag as we get ready for race time. That Toyota Supra pace car gets ready to pull off. Just kind of looking further back in the field. We got Haley Deegan. Oh, Haley Deegan is starting really deep in the field. She's starting on like nearly the back row. I mean, well, or at least qualified nearly on the back row. She's going to get promoted forward a few spots. Okay, so yeah, Josh Williams did have somebody else drive the car for him. Daniel Kvyat, Anthony Alfredo, Haley Deegan, Kyle Larson, Sheldon Creed, Ty Gibbs, John Hunter Nemechek, and Leland Honeyman Jr. are all having to go to the rear. Most of those names for adjustments, obviously Josh Williams, as we mentioned, he had a driver change, and Leland Honeyman Jr. actually had a hiccup in the inspection line, which is causing him to have to drop to the rear of the race. So that is a much longer list of drivers than I thought we were going to have drop to the rear. So again, your notable guys in the back of the field for this race start will be your Cup drivers, your Kyle Larson, your Ty Gibbs. But I don't want to forget about that 11 driver back there, because this is going to be a hard one for him. And here we go. Pace car pulling down to the cover of pit road, leaving the field in the hands of Shane Van Gisbergen and AJ Allmendinger as a round turn 20. And there we go. SVG is away, and green. Green flag's out. We are racing in Austin, Texas. And Shane Van Gisbergen is away with the lead here. The question is whether or not he can get enough separation here before the turn. Yes, he's going to only go into the turn. He's actually going to be out in front of everybody as they come off turn 2. I thought they were going to be at least side by side, but no. Actually, a very tame start to this race. Normally in these big bulky stock cars, that first corner is an absolute nightmare of a hassle for the drivers to try and navigate, but all the drivers got through it pretty clearly there, and everybody just kind of making their way through these S's. Again, Shane Van Gisbergen, Chandler Smith able... Chandler Smith, I don't know about that. Chandler Smith and AJ Allmendinger are both very much cutting the... running as far into the edges of the boundary zone as they could through that set of corners there. AJ Allmendinger is able to make that pass on Chandler Smith, but Chandler Smith looking to the inside. He's going to try and cross him back over. Not able to do it as the 16 takes that second position. And, we got another off track there further back, but it was only off track for a moment. Gets back in line a little bit further back. Didn't even see who the car was, and it was a random black car at the back half of the pack. Might have been Parker Retzlaff. But speaking of Parker Retzlaff, he's actually up a couple of spots as well. But right now, Chandler Smith is going to continue to dog AJ Allmendinger this entire run, isn't he? As AJ Allmendinger and let's say they're and we got a spin. Yep, there goes Chandler Smith. He is around, and he spins right in front of Austin Hill. But they keep it. They keep it going, and they get it back going here pretty quickly, and green flag is still out. No yellow flag for that, but that is a spin, and that is a crucial mistake for whatever happened there. I didn't even really get a chance to see what happened. It looked like the 81 kind of spun out, but I think he may have gotten some help. Let's see. Oh, yep, no doubt. The 8 car was getting pushed by the 21 car, and the 8 car just goes right into the back of the corner of of the 88 or the 81 car there, and just goes right around. Nothing Chandler Smith could have done there, and also same thing to Sammy Smith. Not really much he could have done. He was getting shoved into that corner by Austin Hill. I mean, I guess it's on Austin Hill to know that he was he was stacked up right behind two different drivers, but that allows Shane Van Gisbergen and AJ Allmendinger to break away those two drivers out. About a 2 to 3 second gap between them and the next challengers for position. And speaking of the next challengers for position, we've got a challenge for position between Sammy Smith and Sage Karam right now, battling it out for the third spot. Although it looks like Allgaier wants to try and throw his hat into the ring for competing for a spot as he tries to pass Sage Karam for fourth. So, while all of them are fighting in the back, Shane Van Gisbergen and Allmendinger are just going to check out at the front. So, there we go. That is, Retzloff up into the top 10 there. Austin Hill is back to about 10th place, right about where he started. Although he actually got the opportunity to start a lot higher up, but right where he qualified roughly. And let's see, what about Kyle Larson up to 21st spot after getting sent to the rear of the field for that infraction. Then you got Sheldon Creed who's making his way through the field. Ty Gibbs all the way up into 18th. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? How is Ty Gibbs up in the 18th spot? We're 2 laps into this race. And, Ty Gibbs is already up 18 spots here to try and move himself up into the, he is really trying to push. And the weirdest thing is he doesn't even need to worry about being at the front because we're going to get a caution flag to bunch it all right back together. So Gibbs is up 13 spots since the start of the race. You got Sheldon Creed up 9. You got Larson, who's gained 8 positions on since the start. Then Kligerman and Alfredo both up by 8 there. Hey, stupid roofer, how's it going? All right, we got ourselves. We're kind of starting to get into that point and most road course races kind of getting to this point where we start to settle in. We're 3 laps in. We got 14 laps here in stage number 1, so it's a nice, easy spot to just kind of settle in and get ready for a nice trip around this, a 3.4 mile road course if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, it is a nice long race here, and we go to our first commercial break. Okay, that seems like perfect timing there for the for NASCAR to actually go and throw up the first commercial break of the session, and we are just chilling out here. So in case you guys missed it, we had an early spin, but no yellow resulted from it. The 8 got stacked up and shoved into the back of the 81 car, causing Chandler Smith to go to spin around. Ultimately, it was Austin Hill who shoved the 8 into the 81, causing that spin. And, so the 81 is going to have to try and recover from wherever he ended up falling to. Let me see if I can find an exact spot that he ended up falling all the way to. Let's see. So, you had a lot of drivers to the rear of the field. Most notably, again, Josh Williams. He had a driver change. I believe Hemrick was the one that qualified that car. Qualified up into the 9th position, but Josh Williams, obviously, he had to be in Charlotte for the birth of his child there, so he managed to make it to Austin, Texas for the race. Then you had John Hunter Nemechek, Kyle Larson, and Ty Gibbs, who also all had to go to the rear of the field. Ty Gibbs up to 15th place, Kyle Larson up to 20th place currently, and John Hunter Nemechek is in the 27th position as of right now. So those were the 3 most notable drivers going to the rear of the field. All right, well, hey, you know what? We're not going to say no to new people in the chat. And, right now we're at a commercial break. But hopefully we'll be getting to see a good battle between SVG and Allmendinger. Because I think that's what these road courses are basically going to be built up to this year, considering both of those road course ringers are full-timers in the Xfinity Series. Alright, so here we go. So we are just chilling out here, and again, we're at a commercial break, so we can't see the race, and say the way the leaderboard I've got works, it only updates at the line. Parker Kligerman up into the top 5 though, as of the line last time by. That's a pretty big improvement. He was scheduled to start a lot further back, but I say he's another one of those road course ringers that you love to see succeed, especially the lovable underdogs. But yeah, here we go. And the 07 of Daniel Kvyat got spun around there while we were at commercial break. Okay, I saw him at the rear of the field, but I just kind of assumed that maybe something was going wrong with that 07 car because, man, I don't know about that. I'd be worried about the way that the 16 is taking these corners. It's looking very close to potentially a course-cutting penalty. We saw Connor Zilic earlier today in the truck race. He got hounded by a number of course-cutting penalties. Ultimately, was able to recover from all of them. Okay, you got SVG today, but don't think he's got a shot tomorrow. I don't know. My heart says Allmendinger, but man, SVG is the flavor of the month pick. I don't know. Again, my heart says Allmendinger. I'm gonna root for Allmendinger. Trying to remember. I've got Michael McDowell as my pick on the podcast for tomorrow's race. I'll have so yeah, I'll have that one. But yeah, when it comes to the Cup race, I think it's very much a toss-up. I think SVG could be in play for a top finish there. I think Allmendinger could be in play for a top finish there. Certainly not liking the way the Ford showed up. Michael McDowell qualifying back in 27th position. SVG is going to have to come from deeper in the field than we're used to as well. So, I don't know, but hoping to see him. I think he's actually no, he's the one only coming from 12th. Sorry, it's Kamui Kobayashi, who's coming from deep in the field. I believe he's coming from the 25th position, driving the number 50 car for 2311. You think Rowdy Nation's going to have a good day tomorrow? Well, hey, you know what? Your words to everybody's ears. Especially mine. I would love to see Kyle Busch having a good day here, but I don't know. Road courses are very hit or miss, and so are the RCR cars, so maybe they can both be hits at the same time, but we'll have to wait and see. We got Parker Kligerman now up to the 4th position here. Again, the battle between SVG and Allmendinger really the only challenge for the lead, as they have got about a 6-second lead over Karam. And Sage Karam has solidified himself into the 3rd position. Parker Kligerman's about 1 second further back than Karam, as he is just settling in, and he's going to start to try and close in on the back bumper of Karam. But yeah, right now though, Shane Van Gisbergen and Allmendinger are just absolutely leaving the field completely behind. But yeah, so here we go. Let's see. Looking a little bit further back in the pack. I say a little bit further back in the pack. It isn't even that far back. Ty Gibbs is up to 11th place. Let's go. Ty Gibbs is absolutely on a flyer through the field. Does anyone want to tell him that he's not actually earning points by getting into the top 10 for stage 1? Like, he's a full-time Cup driver. He doesn't need to earn points in the Xfinity Series race. But I guess he's going to try and do it anyway. I mean, I guess owner points for the 19 team doesn't hurt, obviously. Kyle Larson up to the 16th position, as he also had to come from the back of the field, so... So yeah, so they're doing a little piece there on getting to know Sage Karam, but man, I don't. Oh no, Sheldon Creed in the I'm not sure what the FOJ's. I know it's Kyle Busch's charity. I just can't remember for the life of me what the F stands for. I know it's is it Friends of Joy? I can't remember what the F in FOJ stands for. I know it's something of joy for the Kyle Busch Foundation there. But, yeah, the number 18 car getting pushed behind the wall there with some sort of technical issue. So, yeah, if the Kyle... Hey, don't worry. RCR has a pit crew that ranks in the top 10 in the entire series. It's just the Austin Dillon pit crew, but it's a RCR pit crew ranked inside the top 10 in the series. I mean, that's a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, that's the stats. So Chandler Smith has actually recovered back up to the 15th position, just one spot ahead of Larson. So after the spin earlier, he's actually had a pretty good recovery there. So here we go, as they're kind of highlighting Cole Custer here as he makes his return into the NASCAR Xfinity Series field. He's going to be trying to see if he can go ahead and make some magic like he did in the Xfinity Series race at whatchamacallit, at what's the track called? Chicago last year. Where he went and led every lap from the drop of the green flag, I believe, all the way to the checkers. I don't think there was a single lead change in that race. And here we go. We're going to commercial break. So, there we go. So, yeah, how's everybody doing, though? We got ourselves a pretty good day. Let's see. Where's Kyle Busch starting in the Cup race tomorrow? Let me see. Kyle Busch is going to be starting 16th. The Kyle and Kyle show, starting from 15th and 16th on the grid. Yay. I will say, Corey LaJoie is a big surprise to see up in the top 5. A very welcome surprise, but a surprise nonetheless there on that one. To see Corey LaJoie up in the top 5. We have Bubba Wallace qualifying up inside the top 10. Not bad there. Shane Van Gisbergen, 12th on the grid. Justin Haley with a pretty good 13th place starting position. Allmendinger, 14th. Let's see. Other notable starters, as we already said, Kamui Kobayashi starting 25th. Todd Gilliland and Michael McDowell starting 26th and 27th for the pair of front row Motorsports teammates. I'm going to say Noah Gragson will take up the rear of the field. I don't know if he even posted a lap. Let me see if he even posted a lap for qualifying. So, yeah, here we go. Let's see. Okay, Noah Gragson did ultimately turn a lap in qualifying, but it was a very slow lap in qualifying, it looks like. So, there we go. That is that. And, yeah, let's flip that back over to the leaderboard here. So, yeah, SVG's now got about a half second over Allmendinger, so he's got some breathing room to work with. Allmendinger, though, staying close enough to potentially make it, keeping Shane Van Gisbergen honest at least. He can't make a mistake and still be the leader. Ty Gibbs has not been able to break up into that top 10 quite yet here. So, there we go. We are settling in here. Again, we've got ourselves a... oh, wow, we got a lot. There we go. Yeah, it looks like you're the only one talking right now. But we got 16, 17 people hanging out in chat. Thank you guys for everybody that's tuned in. Of course, if you guys are new here, hit the like button and subscribe if you guys are new so you guys don't miss any future videos or live streams. We've been doing these streams all season long, and we have no intention of stopping now. We will be... we got... the Cup race tomorrow with another Shane Van Gisbergen show for those of you guys, because I know there's a lot of Shane Van Gisbergen supporters out there. Alright, so, yep. Yeah, Shane Van Gisbergen, we got Allmendinger, we got a couple of the Cup, we got obviously all the Cup regulars, and, oh, we are back from commercial break. Let's go. So, there we go. We're up to 19 people now watching. Let's go. Let's see. Oh, there's damage on the number one car. That is Sam Mayer's car with a little bit of damage there. Not sure what that is from. Speaking of damage on cars, I want to go ahead and just mention one thing that I did catch from the truck race earlier today. Marco Andretti. I don't know how he pulled it off, but he lost the entire rear axle out of his race truck earlier today in his Craftsman Truck Series truck. Just the entire rear axle just rolled out from underneath his truck as he was, I believe he was at the end of the back straightaway, so it wasn't even like he was going up a significant hill. Like if that happened up the front straightaway, I mean, it'd be weird as anything, but At least then I could explain it, because, well, it's not the first time I've heard about it happening, at least, but yeah, no, it hasn't happened. It happened just going down the back straightaway and into the final, or into the corner at the end of the straightaway, at least. But yeah, that was a really weird wreck to go ahead and see. Yeah, and say that SVG technique is definitely his SVG in his road course racing is definitely one of those where his ability to get through these corners definitely is a good one. I don't know though. I think Allmendinger might have something. Allmendinger is staying close enough right now that if one mistake out of Shane Van Gisbergen right now, and Allmendinger takes that spot, and I'm curious, we got 6 laps to go. We might start to see Allmendinger start getting a little push and shovey with the number 97 there for that spot. Obviously, you got oh wow, John Hunter Nemechek has made no progress since the start of the race. I mean, again, similar to what I said about Ty Gibbs, he doesn't need to earn any spots. But, I mean, Ty Gibbs is already up to 8th place. He's earning points as of right now. He is up into the 8th spot here. And Kyle Larson is still stuck in 15th. Oh, man. And they are really starting to cut that corner pretty aggressively. Hopefully not too aggressively for the... yeah, I know. I've watched his telemetry in the past, but yeah, it is a feat and a half to watch there. But yep. Alright, so yeah, let's see. Clearman's actually managed to go and overtake Sage Karam there for the 3rd spot. Let's go. Ty Gibbs now up to 7th. Ty Gibbs, he was one of the top 3 in qualifying. I don't think he's going to get... he might be able to get Hill by the end of this stage, but I think that's about as high as he'll be able to climb. I just think he's going to run out of time to keep climbing here. He's doing a great job of climbing, but man, it is a tough one to climb here. Alright, let's go ahead and see what we got going on here. Oh, Allmendinger is right there on the back bumper of SVG. He is going to keep Shane Van Gisbergen right on him. And into turn 1, could we potentially see a bump and run attempted? We saw Allmendinger be on the wrong side of a bump and run in, I believe it was the Cup race back here in 2021, or was that 2022? Whichever year it was that, I think it was 2022 there. The 17 car had to start at the rear. Oh, and here we go. Yep, there goes Ty Gibbs. He did get the memo that you did not need the points. And he's going to pit here, I believe. Or is that a course penalty? That could be a course penalty, actually. But, yeah, no, the 17 of Kyle Larson, though, had to start at the rear of the field. That's... He had to start at the rear of the field, the 11. And here we go! Number 16! AJ Allmendinger fighting for the lead with Shane Van Gisbergen, and he is going to take that lead. Here we go. SVG with the crossover move. No challenge here, as now SVG is going to have to build up a move here and try and find the pass on Allmendinger, but Allmendinger was able to make the pass here. 5 laps to go in stage number 1. So, yeah, Larson, Ty Gibbs, John Hunter Nemechek, along with a whole host of others, had to go to the rear of the field. The 11 had to go to the rear of the field due to a driver change. The driver, Josh Williams, was not able to be here yesterday for qualifying, as his wife was giving birth to their first child together. So, massive congratulations to them, but he was able to make it in time for the race. So you think those Cup drivers have SVG figured out for the Cup race tomorrow after that? Yeah, after that whooping he put on them in Chicago. Hey, was it deep dish there, stupider? I know you said it was dished out, but Chicago-style deep dish? I don't know. I don't know if Austin, Texas does it the same way. Although, granted, this is a Formula 1 style track. The question is going to come down to track limits, I think, unfortunately. At least based on what I saw from, again, Connor Zilic earlier today was on a rail and just could never seem to get it to work. But, yeah. So, here we go. We got Cole Custer up into the top 10. Nice to see him running pretty well here. He's up. This is actually the worst he's run all night. He started up inside the top 5 after all the drivers got sent to the rear. The 18 actually, the 18 for Sheldon Creed, he was one of the drivers who had to go to the rear for unapproved adjustments, and he is currently off the track with some sort of mechanical issue. He went to the garage. I don't know. I have not seen whether or not he's actually officially retired from the race or not there. Let's go ahead and check this one out. They're going to go ahead and highlight here. So, yep, there's Ty Gibbs. It was a course violation. It was not a intentional pit stop. So, Ty Gibbs penalized for cutting the course. He drops all the way to 16th place, and he may still finish ahead of Kyle Larson in this stage. It's unlikely, but if Ty Gibbs manages to start at the rear of the field with Kyle Larson, obviously, they both start at the rear of the field, but he manages to go ahead, race his way up into the top 10, get a penalty for cutting the course, pass through on pit road, and still manage to finish the stage ahead of Larson, I think that will be a statement made. But, so there we go. They were just highlighting how, what exactly he did that missed it. So, Sheldon Creed is still 6 laps down. I cannot tell if he is officially out of the race or not, but 6 laps down, he is pretty much out the race. Kyle Larson is up to the 12th position. He's riding right behind. Oh, nope, never mind. He just passes for the 11th position as he goes by Riley Herbst right there. So, Kyle Larson only 1 spot out of that top 10, but as we're getting ready for 3 laps to go, I anticipate next time by we're going to see most of the field come down pit road. Actually, no, this time. We're going to see the rush down pit road this time. Yep, there we go. Glad these crew chiefs are paying more attention than me because they were able to make it to pit road here. Mayer, Allgaier, Custer, all the guys who don't care about points. Although Mayer, Allgaier, and Custer all should be caring about points. Kyle Larson comes down pit road. Chandler Smith comes down pit road. Jesse Love, Ty Gibbs coming down pit road. But yeah, basically all these guys coming down pit road right now should be thinking about the end of the race, not about the... Alright, so they still have Creed is showing 6 laps behind the race, but not out the race, so that's the big thing. But, Chandler Smith on pit road. It is a long list. You got Burton on pit road, Green on pit road. You got Jones. You got just a lot of them. I believe that's Austin Green, by the way, in the 32 car. I hadn't heard about him before this weekend, but I always keep an eye out when I see a second Jordan Anderson car, because I got a friend who's a big Jordan Anderson fan. Oh, and we got a course-cutting penalty for Austin Hill. Oh, boy. Austin Hill running 5th place, and he now has a course-cutting penalty. He will have to come down pit road I believe this lap, or is a course-cutting penalty this late going to force him to just drop to the rear of the field at the stage break. If it's just a pass-through penalty here, it doesn't hurt him too badly. If it is a tail end of the field at the for the restart, that is a much bigger deal. Allmendinger and SVG still pretty close to each other. Again, Allmendinger can't exactly relax just because he got by SVG. But if Shane wants that stage win, he's going to have to be aggressive to try and get it from Allmendinger, because a mistake from Allmendinger is not something you want to be banking on. So Larson's still up in the 16th position after that pit stop. And here we go. Allmendinger comes down pit road. And Shane Vinkisbergen follows him. So SVG and Allmendinger, those two know this is going to be their race to lose. They come down pit road. They don't really care too much about the stage finish. And we have officially, I believe... Are we going to see the pits closed? No, pit road is still open. Oh, yep, there we go. Pit road is closed as Kligerman has stayed out on track. Parker Kligerman is about to win stage number 1. Let's go. Parker Kligerman. Good old Cliggy. Gonna go ahead and get this stage 1 victory, it looks like. He's got about a 4-second advantage over Sammy Smith, Sage Karam, Parker Rutzloff, and Riley Herbst, the top 10 or the top 5. Austin Hill still up in the top 6. I believe that must mean that he will serve that penalty after this one. A very slow stop for the 16. No! No. And I mean, granted, as long as he doesn't lose a lap, he should be okay, which, I mean, it'd be very hard to lose a lap here, but, I mean, it is a bummer, because SVG is going to be able to fight for stage points. SVG comes out in 10th. So, Shaman Gisbergen is coming out inside the top 10 here, and he's going to be able to fight. He's not going to be able to get to Balicki, I don't think. He's got 5 seconds to try and run down Balicki. But he comes out ahead of guys like Ed Jones, Brennan Poole, Kyle Larson, who are fighting behind him by about 10 seconds or so. But, as of right now, though, Parker Kligerman, as long as he can manage to hold this one on the track here, he's finished top 10 in 10 of his 15 NASCAR Xfinity Series road course starts. He's never been able to win a race on a road course here in the Xfinity Series. In fact, I don't think he's ever won a race at all in the Xfinity Series, if I'm not mistaken. But this could be his day. I mean, again, it's one of those days where you could see a Parker Kligerman win. He is a very good road course racer. Obviously, he will have to overcome the absolute juggernauts of SVG and Allmendinger. Wait. They said Allmendinger had a slow stop. How is he out in 8th place? I could have sworn I heard them say slow stop for the 16 team. But he's out there in 8th place. How do you do that and still come out ahead of the... Oh, wait. Oh, there's SVG up to... Oh, no, man. Okay, I guess the leaderboards are all kinds of jumbled up. Okay. Well, I guess we'll see if we can actually see Allmendinger out there. I guess he didn't do as poorly as we thought. And Austin Hill did serve his... he either served a pass-through... I believe he had to have served a pass-through penalty. There's no way he gained those spots otherwise. So, Austin Hill served his pass-through. He did not pit, though, because it was a pass-through penalty. He will have to start at the... he'll have to pit with the rest of these guys, start further back in the field. So, Austin Hill, though, up into the 6th spot. He's going to get some points. Same thing with Allmendinger and SVG. I did not think Allmendinger was going to qualify that well, and here we go. They're showing Larson up into the 11th position. Let's go. Can Kyle Larson go ahead and make him... well, he's not going to be able to get to SVG, that's for sure. And I say, unless Shane Van Gisbergen runs off the track, which we haven't seen yet, I don't think Kyle Larson's going to be able to get to him in this final corner here, or in this final set of corners here, but actually they got about half a track remaining now that I look at where they are on the track. But, there's basically a full 10 seconds between SVG and Larson, so plenty of time. No need for SVG to really push it. He's got about 7 seconds up the road to Balicki. He's not catching him. I don't care how fast he drives. And Allmendinger, also nobody in front of him to try and compete with. As they go through this final carousel, get ready for 2 more corners here for Parker Kligerman. He holds a 3-second lead over Sammy Smith and Sage Karam here for the lead. And let's see, what's it going to look like here? Final corner here. Last chance for a mistake out of Kligerman. And he's perfect off the final corner. It's going to be Parker Kligerman winning stage number 1. Sammy Smith in the background, not able to get there. Parker Kligerman wins stage number 1. Sammy Smith will come across the line, I believe, 2nd. Sage Karam really close behind him, 3rd. 4th, Parker Rutzloff. Rounding out your top 5, it is Riley Herbst. 6th, Austin Hill. 7th, Alex LeBay. 8th will be AJ Allmendinger, I believe, or they have not crossed, those guys have not crossed the line yet, but we assume that they will come across 8th. Balicki 9th, and Shane Van Gisbergen will round out the top 10 here. So again, AJ Allmendinger and SVG are the top guys who have already pit for fuel and tires, so they will be your lead two when we go back green. Kyle Larson, though, he also is already pit. This could very well be a three-way battle for the lead when we go green. So, SVG with a top, he's going to be at the front of the field, but Parker Kligerman gets the stage win. Let's go. I'm going to go ahead and use the bathroom real quick. I'm going to run a quick ad, and I will be right back, guys. Alright, and here we go. We are back. Alright, once SVG gets to P1, it's over. I don't know about that, though. As we saw on the long run, AJ Allmendinger was able to stay close, and he was able to take the lead from SVG on the long run in that stage. Prior to those two coming down pit road, it was AJ Allmendinger out in front. I don't know about it being over if he gets the lead. It'll be tough. As I say, I have no illusions. SVG is going to make it very hard to pass, and he is going to run Allmendinger as hard as Allmendinger can. But you've got a lot of talent in this Xfinity Series race. In fact, it's one of the more talented Xfinity Series fields I've seen. I mean, Parker Kligerman is an accomplished driver in his own right. As I say, I don't know of any major accomplishments outside of NASCAR, but he has won a couple of truck races, mostly on road course, or at least I know of at least one race on a road course. He won Mid-Ohio last year, either last year or 2 years ago. He won Mid-Ohio. Then you've got, I mean, again, we've said it already, AJ Allmendinger, the road course ringer there. You got Kyle Larson, a Cup Series champion, who is a very good road racer in himself. And has a very good Hendrick car underneath him. Then you've got, again, looking further back in the field, you've got accomplished drivers. Sam Mayer won multiple races on road courses last year in the Xfinity Series. You got R.C. Anderson, a former IndyCar driver. Ty Gibbs, who won his first ever start. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Ty Gibbs winning his first ever start on a road course, just in the Xfinity Series. Very similar story to the whole Shane Van Gisbergen, aside from the overseas part. Then you got Daniel Kvyat, who's a former Formula One driver. Certainly nothing to scoff at, although I don't think his car is very good. I mean, as I say, this is a very talented field. You got John Hunter Nemechek, if he could ever get out of his own way. As I say, he's won multiple races in the Xfinity Series this year. And, it's again, very deep field. The 18 car is back out on track, by the way, so the 18 has not left us completely. Alright, there we go. SVG is just toying with him. I don't know. I think Allmendinger could give him a run for his money at the end of the race. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, but we're about a third of the way through this race, and it's going to be a fun one to watch. And, they're showing, yep, there we go. The 7 of Allmendinger got dinged for a course penalty there on the final lap of the stage, and he is going to have to drop to the rear of the field, I believe, for this penalty. But, yeah, here we go. So, there we go. We got ourselves a decent size crowd, though, in here watching this one. So, we're kind of waiting for pit stops to cycle around so that we can see who the true lineup is going to be. Because maybe some of these guys who did pit already will pit again. But I believe your top 5 will be Allmendinger, SVG, Larson. Then I believe it's Allgaier Custer, the top 5. Mayer 6th. 7th will be Chandler Smith. And I say, it's going to be a tough one, though. And they're showing, they're showing a highlight from Justin Allgaier from 2 weeks ago's NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Phoenix. That was a tough hit for him, and another mistake here. This time, not a race-ending mistake, but a course penalty that could set him back. Alright, here we go. So, let's see. What happened on this pit stop that was so horrible that he still came out well ahead of SVG? Oh, they only did 2 tires. That's how he managed to still gain the spot. Okay. Well, that might mean we might see Shane Van Gisbergen coming to pit road. Or not Shane Van Gisbergen. We might see AJ Allmendinger coming to pit road and handing the lead to... nope. Does not look like it. He is, I believe he has stayed out on track, and it's going to be AJ Allmendinger and SVG fighting out for the lead, but SVG is on 2 fresher tires, so on 2 fresher less, I believe it is. But, yeah, here we go. Definitely a lot more stuffed up today than I normally am, but here we go. Let's see. And coming off pit road, it's going to be Sammy Smith, Kligerman, and Austin Hill in that order coming off pit road. Allmendinger lined up behind the pace car. Whew. So, here we go. Well, I think the 2 tires was done out of necessity to try and maintain the spot because they had a poor pit stop. I think the plan may have been to take 4 originally, but when they realized that they were having a bad pit stop, I think they may have called the audible to go for 2 tires there to try and maintain the track position ahead of SVG to try and save a couple of points, because remember, they both did finish up inside the top 10 for the end of the stage. So Allmendinger did earn 2 more points than SVG in that race. So I mean, that is something, especially where they're both running full time in this series. 4 points this year. Every point counts. But yeah. He didn't pit this time, and I say he might think that those 2 tires are enough to make it. Again, it's only 16 laps for this second stage. It is quite a long one, but I think he can make it. We're gonna have to wait and see. But and I say I wouldn't count him out of this stage for sure. But and I say he is going to at least restart on the front row. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Again, thank you guys for everybody that has tuned in so far, and if you guys are hanging out with us, hopefully you guys are having a fun time. Again, we're getting ready for the second stage here of the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. But, yeah, we are going to have a fun time. I'm curious to see what Larson can do on this restart. He and SEG are both on 4 tires. That's going to be a tight battle for sure. Not sure why they're showing Riley Herbst up there. I thought he came to pit road, so we'll have to wait and see if he it could be that Larson was just so far back that when Herbst crossed the start-finish line to get to his before his pit stall, that he was technically scored ahead of Kyle Larson at the line, but Larson obviously will get the lead when he since he stayed out under the caution flag. And yeah, here we go. So yeah, we are currently at 2566 on the subscriber count. So thank you guys for everybody that has already subscribed. And if you aren't, of course, remember we have got the we got the Cup race tomorrow. You don't want to miss that stream, and of course, the best way to avoid missing streams is to hit the subscribe button and ding the little notification bell. Hey, Jamie, how's it going? Go the Giz. Who is that? Is that another nickname for SVG? I think, considering it's Gisbergen, I'm assuming. And here we go. So, people with course-cutting penalties from Stage 1. You had Ty Dillon, Justin Allgaier, Ty Gibbs, John Hunter Nemechek, Austin Hill, and more on that list before it got taken away from me. That was the brief list of people who got course-cutting penalties here in Stage number 1. And we are lined up, getting ready to go green for Stage number 2. It is Allmendinger and SVG on the front row. Then you've got Larson Custer in row 2. Row 3 is Mayer and Chandler Smith. And here we go. Green, green, green. Green flag's out. We are back to racing. And here we go. Let's see. Allmendinger again. We believe he is on 2 tires. He took 2 tires to try and preserve that track position. Oh, yep, there we go. Allmendinger's wide. And say they are 4 wide off the corner. Allmendinger holds on to the lead after going wide. That is impressive there for AJ Allmendinger. You got Jesse Love up into the mix. You got Kyle Larson holding on to second as of right now, but SVG buried a little bit in traffic right now. He may have a little bit of trouble trying to pass some guys. And I expect his road course expertise to eventually help him buy them. And again, it's not a ton of cars, but it's some fast cars. He's got not Joe Gibbs, but he's got the Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota of Ty Gibbs up into the 4th position, just ahead of him. Then you got an RCR Chevy and Jesse Love out in front that was able to sit on 2 pole positions to start the season. Then you got Larson and Allmendinger out in front. And here we go. Yep, we're going to get to see the sky cam from this to see what all happened. So, Allmendinger overshoots the corner. And then you had both Ty Gibbs and Jesse Love dive it up the inside, leaving them 3 wide for second as Allmendinger powered around the outside to clear them. And man, that was just chaos on the restart. I mean, it was near impossible to go ahead and analyze that at full speed. Got Brandon Jones and Sammy Smith up into the top 10. So you got every Junior Motorsports car except for Justin Allgaier up into the top 10 right now. Let's go. Allgaier is still trying to recover from that late penalty for cutting the course. I believe that was I believe that happened on the last lap, so he had to start tail into the field when we restarted here. So it's a long one, but here we go. SVG's starting to make his move. Let's see. And there we go. Ty Gibbs gets by Jesse Love, and so is SVG. SVG to the inside, and Gisbergen takes over the 4th position. So Love is going to drop from 3rd. He drops all the way to 5th place here on this one. And he actually, Jesse Love is going to be scored even further back. Oh, no, there we go. 5th place there as they cross the line. You got Cole Custer up into the 6th position as they are all just clamoring here to try and get by each other. Sam Mayer up into 7th place, but I think he wants more here. Yeah, AJ is holding on for his life. Yeah, especially on 2 tires. You know he's got to be worried there, but he's actually dragged this one out to a 2-second lead, which is actually very impressive for the 2 tires of AJ Allmendinger here. I mean, he pulled out to a 2.5-second lead. That is you do not see that very often. I mean, I'm going to say, a road course is basically the only track with enough distance to really do that this easily. And here we go. Ty Gibbs going on by Kyle Larson for that third spot. And Kyle Larson with the over-under move as they go and cross it back over. And here we go. These two are going to fight it out. About 3 seconds off the tail of Allmendinger here. So here we go. Let's see. What's Shane's plan here? Because Shane Van Gisbergen's pretty much caught them here. And that's two very fast cars. But, yeah, here we go. Tomorrow at 3:30, the NASCAR Cup Series race on Fox. I'm excited. Let's get ready to roll. But, yeah, as of right now, you got Kyle Larson holding off Ty Gibbs here as best he can. But, again, Allmendinger just driving away. Oh, yeah, I'm sure he knows SVG's coming, but I'm just impressed that on two tires he's been able to drag it out to a 3-second lead. I mean, again, he's got, all he has to do is really make it to about, all he has to do is make it about 9 more laps here, and he'll be able to make it all the way here. Because if he can make it 9 more laps on that set of tires, he'll be, oh, yeah, there we go, another pass-through penalty here, this time for Sam Mayer. But, yeah, as of right now, though, if I'm Allmendinger and I know I'm on 2 tires, I'm only looking about trying to make it to that, to about lap 29 here. If I can make it to the 2 or 3 lap to go mark and be able to then come to pit road and I could get the same advantage I had last time and hopefully give my pit crew an opportunity to not screw it up here. I don't know. I think Allmendinger, he's driving amazing to have been able to maintain the lead that he has right now. I mean, again, he's extended this one out to a 3-second lead. And Shane still hasn't been able to get by the 2 cars behind him. Ty Gibbs and Kyle Larson, both cup level talent there. Oh yeah, AJ Allmendinger is certainly, he's no slouch on the road courses. And he's won 2 of these things at the NASCAR Cup Series level. That's double the amount of wins Shane has in Cup, but yeah, obviously Shane's only run about, I think he's only made 2 Cup starts total in the Cup Series, although at his pace, I think we all expected potentially 2 wins. But when he went out there and ran Indy in August, he was not the fastest car on that day. SG Sandbag, I don't know about that. Again, I think maybe he does have an extra little bit of speed, but I don't think it's enough to just blow right past any of these guys. I think, again, you've got cup-level talents. You got a driver who did the exact same thing Shane did, except for not at the cup level. You had Gibbs, in his first Xfinity Series start, win a race on a road course. Yeah, right ahead of him. Then you got Kyle Larson, a proven NASCAR Cup Series talent. In fact, a NASCAR Cup Series champion right there in second place. I certainly don't think this is entirely sandbagging. Oh, no. And we got contact, and that sends the 00 around. The 00 goes around at the top of the hill. And I don't know what caused that, but man, I was taking a sip of water there for a moment, and Custer goes from inside the top, right at the edge of the top 5, all the way to outside the top 20 here. And let's see. Under braking. And, yeah, it looks like just the, another RCR car. Jesse Love gets into the back of... Okay, how many times is Sammy Smith going to get shoved into other cars, causing them to spin out? A few minutes ago, it was the 81 of Chandler Smith, who was only just ahead of this wreck, by the way. But this time it's Cole Custer getting run into by the 8 car after getting shoved by by an RCR Chevy. So, yeah, Cole Custer goes around. Now, once again, there's a bit of damage, and this time some damage was done to the RCR car that originally caused the issue. You have that entire rear tail panel, which has now come disattached from the race car, so you can just go ahead and look right in there. Hopefully they aren't hiding anything in there that they don't want NASCAR or the other teams to maybe know about. Because, yeah, that back end, absolutely wide open right now. Any driver could go ahead and take just a nice, good peek in there. Especially if they have a caution flag, any driver would be able to just go ahead and look right in there. But, yeah, here we go. Let's see. Again, Allmendinger able to drag this one out. And, again, he only needs to make it about 6-7 more laps here for Allmendinger, and he could have this one. Here we go. SVG up the inside. He is going to try and pass Ty Gibbs here. Gibbs going to try and battle back on that inside, and it's a pretty good fight here, but there goes Shane. Shane makes that pass up to third. Oh, yeah, I know Shane's going to take care of that car pretty well, but, again, at the end of the day, he's still got to get to, overcoming a 4.5 second gap is not going to be an easy one. They're talking about how Sammy Smith was involved in both wrecks earlier today, but in both situations he was shoved into the wrecking the driver ahead of him. Yeah, so in both instances he was actually shoved into the car ahead of him by an RCR Chevy, whether that be Austin Hill or Jesse Love. Larson making up time. I mean, Allmendinger's basically just been maintaining about a 2.5 to 3 second lead pretty much the entire run. I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's really hard to tell if Larson's really gaining a ton of time. He was 2.8 at the line last time by. We'll have to wait and see when he comes by the line this time to see where he's doing it. Who's had the fastest lap? Okay, let me go ahead and see if I can find this one for you. All right, best lap. Best lap time, so 134 seconds, 0.3 for Allmendinger. Larson is a little bit better than Allmendinger with his best lap at a 134.1. Shane Van Gisbergen 134.7. Shane Van Gisbergen is slower by about half a second than Larson for that, if you're looking at single lap speed. Ty Gibbs at a 34.5, better than SVG, but not by much. Then you got Chandler Smith, who's a little bit slower at a 30, actually he's a lot slower at a 36 flat as his best lap. He's just been consistently about 5th to 7th most of the day. You got Sammy Smith at a 35.8, 35.4 for, again, obviously, these are all with a 1 in front of them. 135.4 for Austin Hill. 135.2 for Parker Clearance. So some good laps there. But, yeah, Kyle Larson does have the fastest single lap speed as of right now. Again, Kyle Larson is right there as well. Yeah, well, hey, the long game can definitely work out in the long run. We'll just have to wait and see. And you got the end of stage 2. We expect to see pretty much everybody at this front pit since Allmendinger and SVG did it last time. But yeah, we definitely expect to see pretty much all these top guys come into pit road at the end of this stage. But yeah, I will say most of the best sports car racers, especially guys who have learned to race in other series tend to be very respectful. I will say that from having watched a lot of interviews with guys from some of these other series, in particular, like having watched SVG's interviews, getting ready for the Indy race, coming off of that first win at Chicago. Allmendinger, he's been the mark of sportsmanship. Him and a lot of these other guys in the at the back half of the NASCAR grid are usually the epitome, or some of the epitome of sportsmanship. I mean, even guys like Sage Karam even Marco Andretti. I mean, I haven't gotten a chance to hear his interview after this one, but he's had some bad luck in NASCAR. But he always handles it with a ton of class. Hey, Oscar, how's it going? So yeah, we're currently at a commercial break here. Kyle Larson did run down Allmendinger by about 1/10 of a second that last lap by. Allmendinger's last lap was a 1:35.1 to Kyle Larson's 1:35.0. Shane Van Gisbergen actually faster that last lap by a significant margin. 1:34.3. Now, again, he's got fresher tires than Allmendinger. I don't know what potentially was caused Larson to be slower. But again, Allmendinger is doing all of this on only two new tires here. So, but SVG does have some speed in that car, at least based off that last lap. Alright, so here we go, and let's see. 7 laps to go in this race, so about 3 to 4 more laps before we start to expect to see some of these guys pitting. So, all the guys double dipping for this race. You got Allmendinger, Larson, SVG, Ty Gibbs, and John Hunter Nemechek are all double dipping from this race and the Xfinity race later. So, those are the names of the guys who are double dipping in the Cup race tomorrow, in addition to this NASCAR Xfinity Series race tonight. And here we go. They're coming off the corner, and they're all on the same straightaway here. Larson within a second of Allmendinger here. That is going to be a big lap here. Let's see as they come across the line. And it is that's a big lap time here. They are all getting really close on that back bumper. It's still not necessarily close enough, I don't know about, to create pressure. But Allmendinger's got to know they're both coming, because Larson's picked up the pace, so is SVG. He's been on the charge. But up until now, Allmendinger had been able to maintain about a 3-second lead. Now it's down to 2. Looking like it's going to be about 1.5 by the end of this lap. Oh, I know. I've seen some of his stats over in the Supercar series, and yeah, he is amazing over in the Supercars. Obviously, the NASCAR Cup car, and certainly the Xfinity car, are not a 1-to-1 match there on the car, but these types of tracks definitely suit him very well. So he even got a top 5 finish at the Super Speedway at Atlanta last month. So here we go. Let's see. Again, yeah, it's less than 2 seconds here between them now, and yeah, last time by Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson with a 1:34.6, better than SVG at a 1:34.7. And Allmendinger out to lunch right now at a 1:35.3. Now, again, that's not a lot slower, but it is significantly slower to the point where Allmendinger might get caught before they come down pit road. But again, on this pit stop, he'll get to level off the tire sets with SVG and Larson here when they get this final pit stop potentially here. Oh, I know. AJ is definitely starting to fall off, and the Cup cars are virtually identical to the Supercars. Okay, well, I'm just curious because that didn't say the experience definitely didn't seem to translate to Brody Kostecki when he came over for that for the race at the Indy Road Course, comparatively to the success obviously the SVG had at both the Indy Road Course and even to an extent that Indy Road Course race. Because yeah, the Chicago Street Course obviously tailored very well to Shane's strengths versus the Indy Roval, which a lot of the Cup drivers had at least seen before. But yeah, here we go. Let's see. Again, it's now within a second here for Larson as they are continuing to close it in. That gap is definitely shrinking. About 0.3 of a second faster last lap for Larson. And SVG ever so slightly faster than that. About 0.2 of a second faster than Larson was SVG. The hard thing for Shane, though, right now is that he has to run behind Larson because he can't go and battle with Larson and risk both of them losing time to Allmendinger. If you want any shot at passing Allmendinger before the pit stop, yep, here we go. There to the back bumper of Allmendinger here. There we go. Allmendinger on those two tires. I mean, I think he honestly should be pretty proud to have just made it this far. And here we go. They're going to be 3 wide off the corner. Contact with the I almost said with the 5. With the number 17 there. And Shane Van Gisbergen, he's gonna fight with Larson. I thought his best plan was not to fight with Larson and work together to pass Allmendinger. But as I say, those two are roughing each other up, and that's gonna slow them both down there. But contact there, and Larson and SVG, they are dueling it, going tooth and nail. I mean, they are fighting it out here. This is no easy. This is not going to be an easy win no matter which driver gets it. And it looks like SVG is going to pull ahead here as they go onto the main straightaway. Should be 4 laps to go this time by. 4 laps to go, but they lost a bunch of ground to the 97 car. And here comes the 17 up the inside here on Shane Van Gisbergen. Here we go. Kyle Larson able to clear entering the corner, but the crossover move. Here comes SVG. SVG around the outside of turn number 2. And SVG is able to clear on the outside here. And he definitely seems to have that extra little bit over Larson right now. The question is whether or not he has enough time to run down those 2 seconds between himself and Allmendinger right now. And again, Allmendinger is scheduled to come into the pit road either this lap or next. And same thing is going to happen with all the cars behind these two. Every driver from 4th on back, 4th with Ty Gibbs, all the way back, should be coming to pit road within the next lap or 2. That includes, and then Shane Van Gisbergen, Larson, and Allmendinger are about the only 3 that I think that could theoretically try and make the strategy of coming to pit road before the with as they are approaching 2 laps to go. So with 3 laps to go, we expect to see those top 3 pit. Oh yeah, AJ's got to be watching his mirror. There is no doubt about that at this point. But here we go. Let's see. Again, they're showing a lot of replays here from the battles between these two. And I mean, this was one of the greatest bits of road course racing I've seen in a real long minute. Although, granted, the only, Connor Zilich in the sports cars the last couple of weeks have provided quite a few good moments, too. But, honestly, the fact that SVG didn't go and end up giving either one of these drivers a tire rub is kind of impressive at this point. But, here we go. Again, Allmendinger definitely has an eye on him, but here we go. They stay out, and we expect, again, everybody else to be coming to pit road this time by. No, Ty Gibbs stays out. He must think he has an opportunity to get to pit road next time by. If Allmendinger stays out next time by, though, Ty Gibbs has made his bed, and he is going to end up having to pit at the end of the thing. And here we go. Austin Hill leads a bunch of cars on the pit road. Sammy Smith, Parker Kligerman, Jesse Love, Sage Karam, all coming to pit road. Here comes Allgaier to pit road. Justin Allgaier comes down pit road. So does Parker Retzloff. Cole Custer may have stayed out. We've got not Harrison. That's Jeb Burton coming to pit road. John Hunter Nemechek, Anthony Alfredo coming to pit road. I'm usually I'm usually at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and then kind of my second race for the year. I'm gonna try and get to the I want to try and get to the Bristol night race again. Get to see a bunch of my friends from down south. Get to hang out with a bunch of them at the track. Yeah, those are kind of the two races that I'm looking at going to this year. Watkins Glen is definitely on the list to try and get to at some point, but where it's in the playoffs and it's right before Bristol, it probably just isn't in the cards this season. But here we go. So coming to 2 laps to go. This time by, I would be shocked if we don't see Allmendinger, SVG, Larson, and Ty Gibbs all come to pit road. Chandler Smith might stay out to try and win the stage. That is true. They just mentioned that as a possibility. Jesse Love pitting here, and Jesse Love will have to come down pit road because he has just incurred a course penalty. So did John Hunter Nemechek. John Hunter Nemechek just incurred a course cutting penalty on himself, and he is going to have to deal with that one as well. Yeah, Watkins Glen's close to you, and it's tradition. Yep, makes sense. New Hampshire's my closest track, and yeah. And there we go, yep, SVG, Ty Gibbs coming down pit road, Allmendinger coming down pit road, all those top 4. The question is Chandler Smith. What does he do? Does Chandler Smith stay out? Does Chandler Smith come to pit road? I'm assuming at this point Brandon Jones, Riley Herbst, and Cole Custer have kind of made their bed here, and they're going to be staying out. Chandler Smith comes down pit road, so now that opens the door that potentially... Oh, wait, no, pit road is closed, so I believe that is going to be it. Yep, Brandon Jones is going to have to stay out here. I anticipate seeing Brandon Jones go ahead and get this one done. Oh, yeah, Daytona is definitely on the bucket list, too. I would love to get to Daytona. And here we go, coming off all 3 right together. Larson, Allmendinger, and SVG. Allmendinger is the leader of that group, though, right now. You got Larson coming out second. SVG coming out in the 3rd position here. And right now, Brandon Jones, the race leader, he's got the 18 in front of him, but he doesn't need to rush it. He's got a 3.8 second lead back to Riley Herbst in the 2nd position. Then you got Cole Custer in 3rd. 4th is Alex LeBay. And then you've got the battle for 5th right now is going to be on between Allmendinger, Larson, and SVG. NASCAR, can we get a camera on that battle? We know who the leader is, and we know he's battling a lap traffic car. But can we please get a camera on the battle for 5th, please? AJ Allmendinger versus Larson versus SVG. That is the battle we all want to see. Come on, please. We don't want to see Brandon Jones versus a car that's like 6 laps down. Although Herbst is starting to close in on him. I will say Brandon Jones is starting to lose time to the 98 of Riley Herbst here as he stays behind the 18. That could be a problem, and obviously Jones has got to be very careful here. Yeah, he definitely got 4 tires this time. With how close they were coming out of pit road, unless he had another bad stop, he had to have taken 4 tires, same as the rest of them. So here we go, coming through, here we go, let's see. They're coming through some lap traffic here, the number 35 car. Allmendinger gets by him fairly easily. You got the 17 getting through. Now you got the 97. Not quite to the back bumper of the lap car quite yet, so... Again, SVG going to have to try and do what he can to stay close here as he dives up the inside of the 35. He's going to try and keep it close here. Thank you, NASCAR, for at least showing us what the battle looked like, because based on the times, it looked like they were going to be pretty close to each other. But here we go. Again, Brandon Jones at this point, he has got a big enough lead. He should be safe for the stage win here. CAJ and SVG show. Nobody gives a toss about it. Anybody else? I don't know. I'm sure there are Kyle Larson fans out there, and as I do like to try and highlight some of the other series regulars. We got Brandon Jones out here. He's on pace to win a stage here. But yeah. He's on pace to go ahead and get this one. I didn't even realize Brad Perez was out here. I just saw his name on the leaderboard. He's been running about top 15 here. Yeah, wow, we got 25 people in here. Thank you guys for that's hanging out and chatting. Yeah, let us know how's everybody doing today. But yeah, right now the Junior Motorsports team, they've been up and down all day today. You had Allgaier getting a speeding penalty at the end of stage 1. Or not speeding penalty, sorry. Not a speeding penalty. It was a course-cutting penalty for the on-track at the end of stage 1. Then you had now you got Brandon Jones out here looking like he's going to win stage number 2 here. You've got Sammy Smith, who was shoved into 2 different cars on the racetrack at this point. Neither one led to a caution, but both led to some drivers getting spun out. One of which was Chandler Smith, who is still up inside the top 11. The other one, I don't know where the other driver he got pushed into has recovered to. But yeah, as of right now, though, that's 3 of your 4, and then the other one, Sam Mayer, got a speeding penalty, a course cutting penalty a few minutes ago. So. Here we go. Brandon Jones, stage 2 winner. Brandon Jones wins the stage over Riley Herbst. Cole Custer, 3rd place. What am I saying? That's where Cole Custer's recovered to. So Riley Herbst, Cole Custer coming home 2nd and 3rd for the that team for the Stewart-Haas Racing team. Allmendinger able to go up to 4th place. 5th was Kyle Larson. 6th was SVG, and I apologize to Alex LeBay. I said they were navigating a lap car. No, Alex LeBay is actually a lead lap car who had chosen to stay out, and they just happened to be right on the back bumper of him. All right, well, hey, as I say, everybody's got to take an off week every once in a while. But yeah, so yeah, I massively apologize to Alex LeBay. He's a great road course racer, and he was actually a lead lap car that they were navigating. I'm just used to that 35 car usually is a back marker on most of the ovals, and I didn't know who they had in the car this week. So Alex LeBay comes home 7th. 8th was Ryan Sieg. 9th, Josh Balicki, and rounding out your top 10 was Ty Gibbs. So pretty good. Pretty good run to the checkers there for them. Chandler Smith, the first driver missing out on points here in the stage. But yeah, we got ourselves a pretty good battle for the finish coming up here. 16 laps in stage number 3, and we are going to be it's going to be a 16-lap duel to the finish. Again, we anticipate Allmendinger, Larson, and SVG be in the battle for the win. I think most people are probably backing either Allmendinger or SVG in this race, although I would not be shocked to see Kyle Larson. Again, I think Kyle Larson's got some supporters. I would not be shocked to see him up here. Let's go ahead and do a quick Twitter check-in. See where Twitter's at here. See what they got going on. Something about March Madness. Something about the Roman Empire. There's a tweet about the battle between between SVG and Ty Gibbs with the crossover battle that they had. Now let's go ahead and pull up some NASCAR truck highlights because I didn't get to see too many of them. NASCAR Craftsman Trucks. So, Corey Heim did end up winning that race. And let's see. What are some of the other highlights? We got any other highlights? Let's see. So, Connor Zilic in his Truck Series debut ends up coming home 4th. Not bad. Back-to-back road course wins for Corey Heim. Okay. I did not realize that he was the last driver to win in the truck series on a road course. Then you got the then you got the 04 of Marco Andretti, who lost the back end of his truck here. I really want to see. I have not. As I really want to see that video surface of the back end of that truck just rolling out from underneath it here. But yeah, Corey Heim just flat out dominated the front of that race. Although again, Zilich was passing almost everybody throughout that one. All right, so yeah, the truck race was pretty good. Yeah, that's again. I only got to see about the last couple of restarts, but I was able to listen to it, on the radio and stuff, and say it sounded like a real good race. Again, the guy I was looking at in that race was Connor Zilich out of that. Brandon Jones cuts the course. I'm curious to see what the ruling on this is going to be. So, Brandon Jones so he does win the stage. Oh. Sorry, no, they're going to strip the stage win from... They're stripping the stage win from him. Brandon Jones is not your stage 2 winner. It is Riley Herbst. Brandon Jones cut the course to do so. Riley Herbst is your stage 2 winner over Cole Custer. There we go. Yeah, and again, the front of the field was definitely Heim time, but Zilich was passing anybody and everybody he could and just didn't have the time to get back through the field after a couple of course-cutting penalties. But, yeah, this is big news. Riley Herbst ends up getting the stage win after the Brandon Jones penalty. I do not want to have to be the one to announce that to him. But, yeah, so Herbst and Custer come home first and second in that stage as Stewart-Haas Racing, a 1-2 finish there. And Allmendinger on the podium for stage number 2. Let's go. Larson comes home 4th, and Shane Van Gisbergen now gets up into the top 5 for stage 1, or stage 2. And there we go. So, yeah, there we go. I don't think any driver wants to get that message after the stage win that, oh, yeah, you in fact did not win the stage because you were an inch too far over in a stage that you had won by like 20 seconds. So, yeah, they're showing the race from 2022, and that was a AJ Allmendinger win there. Then they're showing last year's race in the number 10, and that was another win there. And Kyle Busch was the won the very first Truck Series race here in at the Circuit of the Americas. But again, Allmendinger has just been really hard to beat here. Second, first, and first, his 3 finishes at this track. I mean, that is a hard stat line to beat. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, again, hard stat lines to beat seem to be SVG's playground. I mean, he's won half the Cup Series races he's entered. He's broken all expectations of him on the ovals this year. With a top 5 finish already this early in the season. The XFL getting ready to kick off next week. I don't really care about the XFL too much. Mainly because I don't know any of the teams or players. I try and keep up with the NFL and what I can, but yeah, there we go. Stage points handed out so far today. Riley Herbst with a big boatload of them. Allmendinger second most amount of points earned today. Then you got Parker Clearman, LeBay, Cole Custer, Sammy Smith, Sage Karam, and Parker Retzloff. Find it weird that SVG's not on that list. I feel like he should be. I mean, I know he only finished 10th in stage 1. I mean, I guess based on math, he wouldn't have been high enough to be on that list of top stage point earners, I guess, today. But, yeah, 6th place and a 10th place for SVG in the 2 stages gets him, what would that be? That'd be 5-6 points, something like that. So he's got 5-6 points already in the bag. Now it's all about trying to finish off this race win. And here we go. Coming to pit road, you got, yep, there goes Brandon Jones. You got the 98, you got the 00. Everybody coming to pit road that stayed out to try and get points in that stage. But, yeah, final stop of the day for all these drivers. Again, Brandon Jones going to have to serve a penalty here as of starting at the tail end of the field for that for the violation there, in addition to losing the stage win. Should have won the first Cup race. Yeah, he was definitely in the mix in that first Cup race too. But yeah, I would love to see Kyle Busch get the win this weekend though. Hey, if he could win this weekend, that'd be amazing. I know I've got a friend who's a Kyle Busch fan, but he's starting to get a little antsy, as I think a lot of us are at this point, waiting for Kyle Busch to get that first win. Is SVG up, or not SVG, sorry, Cole Custer up to the top of the board as they come off pit road. Again, it's going to be AJ Allmendinger, Kyle Larson, and Shane Van Gisbergen to restart this one all right together, all right at the front here. But, yeah, these road courses are going to be a blast, though, to watch Shane versus, Shane Van Gisbergen versus Allmendinger at every Xfinity Series road course race. I mean, that has got to be one of the biggest marketing opportunities right there. Those two, head-to-head, there is no better competition, I don't think, coming down the end of it. Does the Xfinity Series at Richmond? Oh, come on. Richmond on Saturday at 1:30. Can we not just make that a 1:30 on Sunday race for the Xfinity Series? If you're gonna have 2 races on Sunday, or if you're gonna have a race on Easter Sunday, could you not just make both races on Easter Sunday? As I say, we do have in Richmond next week along with Easter Sunday. Don't know if anybody is actually gonna. Don't know what the attendance is gonna necessarily be like for that race. Hopefully it'll be pretty good. As I'm a big Richmond Raceway supporter comparatively. Let's see. Alright, so yeah, we're just double checking this. We got a Buffalo Wild Wings commercial going, and yeah. Here we go. Definitely glad to see some fellow Kyle Busch fans hanging out in the chat with me. But, yep, we are getting ready for this one. Don't have any of my AJ Allmendinger cars within reach, the same way I had the not the Brad Keselowski, but the Ryan Newman Roush car within reach last time. I'm curious to see how Ambrose would do with the with all the new road courses and stuff, but I would be a little worried that he's been out of the car too long. SVG and AJ have both been very regularly in the mix. Meanwhile, Marcus Ambrose, what's he been up to since we last saw him in the NASCAR Cup Series? Has he been up to any racing? Let's see. So the truck's next race will be at Martinsville. So they don't race next weekend. So there's only 2 races next weekend. Richmond in the Xfinity Series at 1:30, which I won't be home for. And then the Cup race on Easter Sunday. Great. Alright, well, maybe something will happen. We'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, here we go. Let's see. getting ready, showing off the Kyle Larson's championship badge, and we're getting ready for this juggernaut battle for the fight at the end here. You got all four starting inside the top four: Allmendinger, Larson, Ty Gibbs, and SVG. They are going to be starting one on top of another here, basically, as they get ready to restart this one. Out of the last 14 out of the last 15 races on road courses for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, they've been won by drivers, I believe, by 5 drivers have won those ones. You got Larson, who's won one of them. Ty Gibbs has won, I believe, 2 or 3. SVG, or not SVG, but Allmendinger's gone and won 6 of those last 4 of the 15 races. Cole Custer won both Portland and won the Portland race and the Chicago street race last year. I want to see Denny Hamlin win a championship. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to a Denny Hamlin championship, except for that means that Kyle Busch and Michael McDowell can't get a championship in that same year. I'd rather see Michael McDowell get a championship. I mean, Kyle Busch getting another championship would be great. Michael McDowell being written down in the history books, though, as a NASCAR Cup Series champion would be an amazing thing to see. I would love to see that one. So, yeah. Denny Hamlin championship at this point, I mean, it'd be a nice relief at this point to not have to talk about that narrative, for the remainder of his career, but it's one of those things where it wouldn't be a big surprise and it wouldn't be a great feel-good story, although, again, kind of at long last he would have it. I don't know. I know there's a lot of people who don't want to see that because they just don't like Denny Hamlin, which, fair enough. There's a lot of drivers out there. Not going to like them all. Alright. Meanwhile, I actually haven't set my roster yet for tomorrow, so I want to go ahead and make sure I get that done beforehand. Alright, already checked in. Got my points for that. And, let's go ahead and set my fantasy roster. I don't know, though. I mean, Kyle Busch does have many years left, and that's why, can we have Michael McDowell win the championship this year, then Kyle Busch, then Michael McDowell again, then Kyle Busch again? Can we just have those two alternate championships until one or both of them end up retiring? And honestly, if they keep winning championships, they may just not retire if that's the circumstances, but I don't know. Alright, let's see. Definitely gonna go ahead and put Ty Gibbs in. Haven't used him yet this year. This seems to be a great chance to go ahead and use him, especially the way the Toyotas have looked the last couple of weeks. And I guess we're getting a live look at the way I build my NASCAR fantasy rosters. Basically, just scroll down and see who I think's gonna do well here. Definitely going to go ahead and take SVG. Don't worry. I'm not ignoring SVG, guys. Let's see. AJ Allmendinger. I'll take him. I mean, hey, he'll save me a use on some front runners. It's just hard not to use them all. Do I believe in any other Hendrick drivers than just Kyle Larson? Elliott. Where's Elliott starting? 9th? I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. You know what? I want to take Michael McDowell. I'm going to take Michael McDowell. Call me biased. I know. As I used to despise Denny Hamlin until he became the villain. Now you're all in for him. Well, you seem to really like villain characters, because that's pretty much the character Kyle Busch played for for the past 10 years or so, AJ will choke tomorrow. I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, he might not win the race, but hey, right now all I need is drivers to get good finishes. I don't need to go out there and win the week overall like I almost did at Phoenix. Was literally leading the entire fantasy thing. I had a perfect race going. So, yeah, I had a literally perfect fantasy weekend going at Phoenix before the Denny Hamlin spin went and put me in, like, 4th or 5th place, I think, for that week. So, I'm going to take Kyle Busch to win that. Head-to-head over Denny. I'll take Larson over Reddick. I'm going to take Suarez over Chastain. A little bit of an upset there. Imagine if Denny went to RCR. Problem is I don't see RCR having an opening at that team before Denny retires. Not to mention Denny owns a team. So if he was going to leave for a team, he'd probably go to his own team. Pace car is off. Running for cover here as we get ready to go green, green, green. Green flag's out. We're back to racing. SVG versus Allmendinger on the front row. Let's go. Larson tries to dive it up the inside, but not able to get there. Allmendinger able to throw the block there and able to get out in front of Larson and SVG. SVG back to the 3rd position here. And there we go. Allmendinger, Larson, now SVG, and then Gibbs into the 3rd spot here. Everybody would be rooting for Denny Hamlin in a Chevy. I mean, I gotta say, those FedEx colors would look pretty decent in a Chevy, I think. And then I'll take Bowman over Cindric. I don't know. Might be a bad pick. Might change it later. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's my that's my roster at least set for now. I can go ahead and change it later if I go back and think about it more. But here we go. We got the restart. 12 laps to go in the NASCAR Xfinity Series race here. Shane Van Gisbergen versus Larson. We saw this amazing battle down the stretch in stage number 2. Ultimately, these two fought so hard they ended up losing out on the chance to try and pass AJ for the lead as they were coming down pit road. But ultimately, at that point, they were only racing to pit road. At this point, they're racing to the checkered flag, and there will be no more pit stops from Allmendinger, Shane Van Gisbergen. We don't expect him on pit road again. As long as there's no course penalties, I don't think we see any of these guys come to pit road again. And here we go. Parker Kligerman starting to put pressure on Chandler Smith there for the 6th position. And we got a car backwards in the back of the field. There's a car backwards in the back of the field, and I have no idea who it is. Let's see. Some kind of problem in the rear of the 17 they're talking about. And, okay, it was the 39 of Ryan Sieg that went around. And I'm going to have to wait and see a replay there. But, yeah, whatever it is in the back of the 17 car, he has lost 2nd place now to Shane Van Gisbergen. And now he's got Ty Gibbs all over the back of him here. Sammy Smith up the inside. He's going to try and make a 3-wide pass for 6th here up into the top 6. There goes Parker Kligerman getting run wide here as he goes. And he is still fighting with Chandler Smith there for position. Meanwhile, Sammy Smith just went and leapfrogged right over both of them. So now we got Shane Van Gisbergen versus AJ Allmendinger, the fight we all wanted to see. Put MTJ on my list for tomorrow. That'd be interesting. I'll have to say it'll come down to who I want to take out is going to be the bigger thing. Because let me see. I'm assuming you would be wanting me to put in MTJ over for example, what's his name? AJ Allmendinger. I just don't know if I want to do that. MTJ's been hit or miss, but honestly, so is Allmendinger, and at the very least, I won't have to worry about running out of Allmendingers. And here we go. Oh, whoa, big tire rub on the Sam Mayer. I'm not sure if that's got to be a tire rub because there's no way he'd be on the brakes at that point. So, major tire rub here for for Sam Mayer as they make contact there. Chandler Smith, a little bit off track, but he gets back on it. But, yeah, there we go. Kligerman making the pass. And, oh, Sammy Smith's around. Sammy Smith finally spins around. Involved in 3 wrecks today, but for this is the first time he's actually spun himself around. Now, again, we'll have to wait until we can see a replay, but I'm guessing from the amount of contact in the back there, one, we may get a full course caution, and oh! SVG! We got a penalty! SVG cut the course! SVG just cut the course, and that's going to be a pass-through penalty. That is not good there. I think SVG may have just cut the course. We're going to have to wait and see for the official word from NASCAR, but that could be a course penalty here, and that is a lot of... Oh, we got Chandler Smith absolutely smoking the tires down into turn 1. That's a long way from the checker, or from a pit road spot to be able to potentially go and pit this thing, if that is a real problem for him. And yeah, that is definitely tire smoke here. We're going to have to wait and see if that 81 can make it all the way around here. But, again, nothing official from NASCAR. I just watched the the 97 come over the track, and I thought I saw him miss, but they haven't announced anything, so I'm assuming he might be good. He may be okay. I thought for sure that was a cut corner, but again, I only saw it in the moment as he came flying over the corner, but I thought for sure he missed the curbing. But here we go. We got ourselves 10 laps to go here. Ty Gibbs battling it out with Kyle Larson, but the two of them have lost so much ground to the leaders that it hasn't. The on-track ground is not nearly what the numbers look like for the ground that they've lost here. So we'll have to wait and see if Ty Gibbs, now that he's out in front of Kyle Larson, if he can start to pull away from Larson potentially and be able to run down the leaders. But as of right now, it's an absolute dash for the front of the field between Allmendinger and Gisbergen. And again, as of right now, I don't see any penalty for SVG. We might be good. No, he was definitely not avoiding a wreck, unless he was trying to avoid his own wreck of him, because he was just trying to make it through the corner as efficiently as possible, and I guess he did it because he made it through, I guess, clear. And again, I might need to see maybe on a replay I can tell you that was a clear move, but again, I thought for sure in the moment at least it was a cut course, but no penalty issued for SVG. He looks to be good. But yeah, there was no wreck at the front of the field. Allmendinger's still going. SVG's still going, and they haven't caught lap traffic yet. Although, granted, the speed they're going, you might assume they had caught lap traffic. Because, they are leaving pretty much everybody in the dust. But even Ryan Sieg, who wrecked earlier in this race, he is still only about 30 seconds behind. So that means they're still 100 seconds off from catching him. Now, maybe when Chandler Smith comes out of the pits, we might see him get right in front of these guys as SVG. Here we go. He's going to challenge for the lead. Here we go. And there's the challenge for the lead. SVG runs Allmendinger wide here. And he's able to take the lead. Shane Van Gisbergen to first. Let's see if he can run away like Roofer predicted. SVG's gotten the lead late in the race. 9 laps to go here. You got AJ Allmendinger, though. He's still in second, and he could very much potentially surprise here. And SVG's been P2 for the last, 2-3 minutes, but here we go. Allmendinger up, and he's battling it out here. Let's see. Allmendinger still close enough that, hey, one wrong move from SVG, and he could end up going down. And again, we saw earlier today, Connor Zilic, another road course racing expert from outside the NASCAR realm, got eaten alive with with course penalties, and you got to be careful of course penalties. Both Allmendinger and SVG, I would say, need to be careful to make sure they don't get a course penalty here as they round the corner. And it will be 8 laps to go. 8 more times around here. So, 8 laps to go. And these drivers, as they head up this hill, again, it is going to be a absolute duel here. Now, the question is, if we don't get a yellow flag, I could very well see this being a case of, it'll be a question mark of, can SVG hold on to the speed that he has, or is Allmendinger going to be able to be the consistent threat here? The entire Kaulig Racing team all huddled around these two drivers. And here we go. Let's see. Over the, going over the curbing here. SVG with some tire lock up there, but again, everything looking pretty good here. I gotta say, I love this front bumper cam from the 16 car. This has got to be one of the best uses for the front bumper cam here. This or Martinsville, but at Martinsville, the front bumper cams don't usually last very long. So here we go. Now the one car going on by the his teammate in the number 7 car for the 7th position. They're continuing to drag race it out. Please don't bring out a caution, guys. Just settle whatever difference you guys have amicably here. Come on. And it looks like the one car still has significant damage on that front end. Hopefully, whatever it is, they've fixed the immediate problem. But, again, some of that stuff looks like it could very easily come loose later. The 7, though, also having a lot of tape on that front end, might be contributing to some handling issues. Both of those drivers with some issues they'll have to figure out. But, as of right now, though, you got SVG doesn't make mistakes. I don't know. Again, he's definitely not infallible, but he is a very formidable road course driver here. So it's a 1-second gap now between Allmendinger and SVG, but you don't want to burn up those tires too much here at this point. Because again, we've seen drivers use up too much of their stuff early on in runs before. So, first 4 races, he hadn't led a single lap. Today, he's led 12 for Shane Van Gisbergen. And he's going to try and keep leading them if he can. Yeah, who would have known the best 2 road course racers would be 1 and 2? Yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty much the duel everybody had been hyping up. And oh, we got a spin! It's Anthony Alfredo in the middle of the pack. Hopefully stays green. Field is still green right now. He gets it turned the right way, and he's going to re-enter the field safely. And we stay green. Good, good, good. Green, green, green. Alright, so that stays green. And here we go. So it was contact with Austin Green there in the 32 was what sent the 5 car around. But again, no caution flag is thrown. And Shane Van Gisbergen, he continues to attempt to try and stretch that lead. Although, again, Allmendinger just keeping it close enough to try and keep some pressure on there. And again, they will eventually start to catch lap traffic. They got 7 laps to go. They're already starting to catch the back bumper of Burton. Literally the best road course racer in the world. Well, I can think of a number of drivers who would want to put their names in that hat at least to be considered. I mean, Max Verstappen, I'm sure, wants his name in that hat for best road course racers in the world. Allmendinger's name definitely deserves to be in that hat as well. Scott Dixon's name should probably be on that list too for greatest road course racers in the world. Now, I'm not saying that Shane's name doesn't belong in that list, because it definitely does. But it is definitely a competition for that top spot. But here we go. Let's see. They're watching the battle between Custer and the lap car of the 18. But yeah, this lap traffic for the 97 could start to get this thing pretty interesting. Just gotta wait until we can actually see it. Oh, and we got another car off. Yeah, the number 4 car is off track. Who is that? And that is Patrick Gallagher, and he is stopped for the moment. Is he going to be able to get it going? In the dirt, and he is able to get it back onto the pavement here, and he's going to resume racing. But yeah, SVG though, he is running very good right now, and as I oh, and we got whoever that was just swerving at people. Not sure who it was, but yeah, right now though, Gisbergen is doing an amazing job here in Austin, Texas. Very well could be on track for his first NASCAR Xfinity Series win here today. I would not be shocked. I know I've talked big about Allmendinger all day long, and I'm not saying that I was wrong on that, but Shane Van Gisbergen is not to be underestimated. That's for sure. As I've said all day that this battle is going to be a very good one and a very close one here. And I think coming down the stretch, I don't think it's over. Austin Hill has been able to break up into that top 4. He's been able to start to become that lead guy of the rest. Because I think we've said that Shane Van Gisbergen and Allmendinger, they're on one level. Then you've got the Cup drivers of Gibbs and Larson. Then you've got pretty much the rest of the field beneath that in a tier of their own. But right now, though, Allmendinger versus Gisbergen, it's definitely, Gisbergen's definitely starting to stretch that lead. So here we go. 5 laps to go here. Let's see. Again, it's a battle coming up into the corners. If they could just show the battle, that'd be great. But we got other storylines, I guess, further back in the field, talking about the one car who is hanging on to 7th here, despite his car looking like it was put together with an arts and crafts project. But yeah. Kligerman's up into the top 6. He's going to be looking for trying to pass Larson for that top 5 spot here soon. So far, Sam Mayer's only been able to finish 1 race so far this season. He DNF'd at Daytona, Vegas, and Phoenix. But an 11th place finish at Atlanta keeps him 24th in the point standings as of right now. On track for potentially his first top 10 of the season. I think it's pretty likely here in Texas here for Sam Mayer. Here we go. They're going to keep going around here. Deegan was a bust. Again, I think it's... I'll give her a full Xfinity Series season before I completely write her off, but I definitely think she's definitely trending that way. But here we go. So yeah, he's extended that lead over the last couple of laps from 0.7 of a second to a full second, and now it was a full 2 seconds at the line last time by. So Allmendinger is doing what he can, but again, it is definitely a hard. SVG is a hard car to keep up with, as he disappears out in front of him and just keeps on driving. I will say I'm glad that we didn't get that. That wasn't a penalty. The thing that I saw there. Yeah, Hill's having a really good year. I'd be shocked if Austin Hill isn't in contention for that championship this year. Now that he's got a teammate that might not get involved with the battle for the championship if he can avoid it. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how much Jesse Love values that Stewart-Haas Racing job here. And now they're showing the highlights from Atlanta when everybody started running out of gas except for basically Austin Hill and Shane Van Gisbergen here. Hey, Troy, how's it going? So yeah, we've had a lot of people popping in here. We got 4 laps to go 4 laps to go here. Oh, man. I will say, I would be shocked if we don't have a yellow in this race. If there's not a single yellow, that could be interesting. But, let's say, overtime's another thing that you gotta be weary of in the NASCAR series. It ain't over till you see that white flag. Once that white flag waves, you're pretty much home free, as long as you planned your strategy right here. And here we go, yeah, let's say, SVG. Let's see. Oh, Cindy thinks Larson will win tomorrow. Well, let's say, I think that's very much a possibility. I just think that there's a lot of talent in that cup field tomorrow. Oh, and there's the 24 car round. That is, who's in the 24 car? Trying to remember. It's an IndyCar guy. It's Ed Jones. Ed Jones in the 24 car. And if he's not able to get back going, there's a lot of fluid on the track. Could we see a caution? It could be. We might be about to see our caution flag Oh, yeah, there it is! Yellow flag! We got it! The yellow flag flies, and we are going to see a head-to-head duel between SVG, AJ Allmendinger. They're both going to be on worn tires because I guarantee neither one of them's coming to pit road unless they need gas, and I don't think they need gas at this point. Alright, so let's see. What ended up happening to the 24 car here? So he goes to try and pass the 91, makes contact with the 91. As he passes him, makes it around the corner there. Got a lot of dirt on his tires. Still waiting to see what ended up actually causing this wreck. Oh, okay, so Kyle Weatherman just goes and drives right into the back bumper of the 24, just completely sending him. Alright, well, thank you for that. But, yeah, this caution flag definitely helps out, AJ Allmendinger. I'm sure Shane Van Gisbergen's not happy about this one, but we're going to be going to NASCAR overtime, and I'm excited for this one. You got Ty Gibbs, who will be right back in this fight. He got held up behind Kyle Larson for a bit, but he might be able to put up a bit of a fight here. Larson will have another shot to maybe make something happen. Austin Hill up into 4th place. Maybe we'll have to wait and see what he can do on this restart. But there we go. Ed Jones is climbing out of his car, and he's going to be directed to the ambulance, which is a mandatory ride to the care center from any crash where you are unable to get back to the pits. It's a mandatory trip to the infield care center anytime you're out of the race due to damage. But specifically, when you're crashed on, anytime you're not able to get it back to the pits, you got to take that one back. I don't know. Again, AJ on that on the restart in the stage was able to. He's been able to beat him on the stages. We'll have to wait and see. In the booth next Saturday, it's Logano and Keselowski. Great. Even more reason for me not to listen to the broadcast. More so than my usual level of not listening to the broadcast. Because I don't listen to the broadcast, but I'm not Logano, I'm not a big fan of Logano. Keselowski I'm starting to come around on a little bit more, but I still don't think either one of them are necessarily TV personalities. But here we go. Again, worn tires on both SVG and Allmendinger. We're going to have to wait and see this one. And I've said Larson's not a bad pick, and I would not be surprised to see him in victory lane tomorrow. I have him on my fantasy roster. Hey, Kyle, how's it going? SVG all day. Well, I mean, he's been doing really well. Let's see. Again, you've got to worry about the fuel mileage. I don't know how many I don't remember how many laps they said they can go on fuel, but I think they should be good. The question is, are they good? So here we go. And they got Suarez, Logano, and Adam Alexander up in the booth today. And they're going ahead and talking this one over. Alright, let's go ahead and see what we got going on. So yeah, again, the battle between SVG and Allmendinger, that's going to be a good one. I'm excited to see the battle here on the restart. Alright, so let's see. 2023 Chicago Street Course winner. And I say, when we go to Chicago, that is going to be an SVG playground. I mean, Allmendinger might be able to keep it close, but it's going to be a tough one there. I think Shane Van Gisbergen on the streets of Chicago, it's going to be a very different story compared to all the laps were led pretty much from start and now, and even they barely made it to halfway in the Xfinity Series race before it got called. So here we go, getting ready for the. Are they getting bunched up for this restart yet? Let's see. Oh, we still got 22 people hanging out in here. Thank you guys for everybody that's tuned in. Of course, if you guys are new here, of course, hit the like button and subscribe. If you guys are new, we've been doing these streams. Oh, and here we go. 17 coming to pit road. The 17 making a gamble. He knows he won't win from where he is, so he's going to pit here. Hope for maybe an overtime situation. We'll have to wait and see, though. As I say, an overtime situation. Could we potentially see some fuel issues? It could happen, and if so, Kyle Larson will look like a genius. Otherwise, he may. Either way, this race doesn't mean a ton to him if he doesn't win it. And here we go. Parker Kligerman elevated into the top 5 here. We are set up for a nice, good run to the checkers. Let's go. Alright, let's see. What do we got going on here? Also, for any of you guys who don't know, I actually take part in a NASCAR Heat 5 Racing League on Thursday nights, which I live stream my POV here on YouTube. You guys can check it out. Link isn't in the description, but if you go to my channel, some of my most recent uploads and stuff, so feel free to check that out. We race on Thursday nights at 9, so go ahead and tune in next week for the stream. I believe we are starting round 2 at Kansas next week, if I'm not mistaken, and I made the schedule, so I shouldn't be mistaken. We got 27 people hanging out in here. Let's go. Alright, I got about an hour and a half before my Pokemon tournament later tonight, so we got plenty of time for that, and yeah, got a lot of fun things to do today. We got Buffalo Wild Wings commercial, a great finish to an amazing race, and yeah, it's just a great day. Let's go. 20 again. If we can hit 30 concurrent people, that'd be amazing. But yeah, right now again we're just sitting back watching some food commercials here. Brown sugar bacon. Is that even good? I mean, I can imagine how good that would be, but I just can't not think about the fact that usually when fast food tries to get creative, usually it ends up going poorly, and yeah, I don't want that just sounds like the type of situation where it's almost so good that somehow the restaurant would find a way to mess it up. But here we go. Let's see. I might have a friend join me for the cup race tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. But yep. And 30 people in here. I'm only seeing 26 on my list, but hey, if we have 30 people in here, I'd be more than happy to say hi. And yeah, if everybody wants to go ahead and join the chat, love to hear from you guys. Here we go. We should be getting back from commercial break in the next few seconds here, hopefully. Is this the last commercial break? Nope, we got a Tyson chicken nugget commercial. Yay. Gotta hear about the chicken nuggets. So, it looks like it's going to be a 47-lap race in total, it looks like, assuming that this overtime is the end of it. Although I would not be shocked to see again this thing potentially go into double or triple overtime the way that this turn 1 works. Although again, the truck race earlier today only went into, I believe, single overtime. Might have been double overtime at the worst, but we certainly expected worse out of the way that it ended. So there we go. Get that all settled in, and we are getting ready. And there we go. We're back from commercial break, getting ready for Choose Cone. It's going to be Allmendinger chooses directly behind SVG here. That's going to allow Ty Gibbs onto that front row. Here we go. Everybody kind of choosing their lines here, where they want to restart. So, you got it. So, yep, here we go. Let's see. We got, again, SVG and Gibbs on the front row. Allmendinger, Kligerman, row 2. Austin Hill and Sam Mayer, row 3. Row 4 is Cole Custer and Justin Allgaier. Rounding out row number 5 is Sage Karam and Jesse Love. Sage Karam's been doing an amazing job of staying in the fight all day here. Row 6 is John Hunter Nemechek, who we haven't heard much from today, but hey, he's up there. Then you got the 32 of Green there on the outside, Austin Green. Then you got Alex LeBay and Kyle Weatherman in row number 7. Row number 8 is Leland Honeyman Jr. and Brendan Poole as we go green, green, green. Green flag's out, and we're back to racing. Let's see. What can AJ do? He opted to start right behind SVG. Let's see. Can he bait a mistake out of the driver who looked to have this race in hand? Here we go. Up the inside. Austin Hill looked like he was going to try and dive for it. I thought that was Austin Hill at least. And oh, nope. Ty Gibbs and Allmendinger get the worst end of it, and now it's going to be Austin Hill fighting it out with SVG here for the win. And oh, Parker Kligerman, big corner cut. He will be asked to pull over and he probably yield the positions and or at least make the normal green flag pit stop here. We'll have to wait and see. But SVG now has I don't know. I just saw a lot of people miss that corner, or what I thought was missing the corner, but I might have to read up on what the in and out of bounds are before tomorrow. But I thought if you had all 4 tires on the red, that was not good. You had to at least get your tires on that green stripe. Now, if you only have to get your tires on that red, I mean, they could definitely, which could very well be the case. I thought the rule was that they had to get at least 2 tires on the green. But here we go. And then they, again, somebody looked like they were going to dive it up the inside there. And, SVG manages to shove both the 16 and the 19 wide. And, we got a caution flag. The 98 of Herbst is destroyed. And here we go. Ryan Ellis also torn up here in the dirt somewhere. And we're going to see an overtime finish here. Leland Honeyman Jr., a double overtime here for SVG. The first time will not be enough for SVG here. Let's go. We're up to 28 people hanging out in here. Ty is getting a little hunted. And I say, I'm not sure if there was a typo in there. I mean, if you meant to say shunted, I would say that was pretty accurate. But if you meant to say hunted, I'd be curious to know who's doing the hunting there. And it looked like, that was just a weird sack up there. Leland Honeyman Jr. into the back of Kvyat. Daniel Kvyat there. And we got a full course caution. Caution flag is out. We're going to double overtime here. And I say there are multiple cars torn up. I mean, I know sometimes, and and trust me, I will call it out. I'm sure it'll happen at some point, either this weekend or at the next road course weekend. But NASCAR does have a tendency of throwing cautions that probably don't need to be it, especially at road courses. This crash definitely necessitated a full course caution. You got multiple cars all torn up all over the racetrack. There's going to be debris. There's there's actually a lot of fluid coming out of the 98 car as Riley Herbst is now walking to the ambulance. So, okay, was literally the typo, or I'm still not entirely sure what you were talking about there, LTX. But again, I think you meant to say the word shunted. At least that would seem to be the closest word I can imagine being the missing word there. But yeah, again, we got ourselves. It's been about 20 laps since a lot of these guys were on pit road. That's going to be a question mark as to what kind of fuel they got left in the tank. It will be curious to see here. Oh, forgot the... Okay, forgot, but Ty is getting hunted. Okay, well, we'll see who's hunting Ty here. He's back in the 7th position here for this next restart. And let's see. Alright, let's see. What are they talking about with the 16 and the 19 here? Oh! The 19 just ran into the back of Allmendinger. Uh-oh, hopefully that isn't going to be significant damage, but yeah, that... oh. It's under caution. Ty Gibbs. Allmendinger not happy. I think those two might... I think you might be right about Ty getting hunted. I think Allmendinger might forget about the... about going for the win and just go for trying to wreck Ty Gibbs at this point. Hopefully not, because I'd like to see Allmendinger get back up there. Maybe have another shot at SVG, but at this point it's going to be tough to see. But yeah, Allmendinger did not appreciate getting run into there under the caution flag. I don't know if Gibbs thought that it was Allmendinger's fault that he and Allmendinger both got shuffled out of line, but I mean, SVG was right there. I mean, there was literally no room for SVG to really do anything as he was on the inside line. And there we go. We're up to 31 people. Let's go. Thank you guys for everybody that's tuned in for the end of this NASCAR Xfinity Series race. We got ourselves a good battle to the checkers. We got Shane Van Gisbergen. We got Austin Hill into second. Third is Parker Kligerman. Fourth, Sam Mayer. And rounding out your top 5 is A.J. Allmendinger. Let's go. Don't take A.J. tomorrow, I'm telling you. I mean, hey, we'll have to wait and see, but, let's say, here we go. Let's see. I don't know. SVG could be the wrong choice tomorrow. Maybe, you never know. Especially with how some of these Cup cars like to fall apart and break. I mean, granted, that means any driver. All right, so yeah, here's the. They're slowing this down, and we'll wait to see how NASCAR officiates this. So yeah, the 16 of Allmendinger may be is under investigation here for a penalty here. Let's see. Alright, so here we go. Let's see. They're going to go all the way back to the corner before. Okay, so yeah, so there's the corner where we had some issues there for in the big corner cut. So we expect to see the 48 is going to get moved to the back of the line here. But then, yeah, I think we may see the 16 going to the back of the field as well as the 48. And yep, there we go. The 16 comes down pit road, and that is going to be a dagger in the day here for A.J. Allmendinger. A missed corner, not even really of his own. I say not even entirely of his own doing. But, probably a good idea to come down and check out the damage from the contact with Ty Gibbs. But, man, that is a bummer to see. Again, Parker Kligerman and A.J. Allmendinger are both going to have to go to the rear of the field here. Man, that is a bummer there to see that one. SVG will be top 5 tomorrow. Well, we'll see. He is not. He wasn't top 5 at Indy. And again, that's a track where the Cup guys had experience. And I think you've got a healthier Cup field right now than you did at Indy last year for that one. Because I think Chase Elliott still wasn't back up to full operating capacity at that point. Let me see. What was the Indy results here? Indy... Oh, wait, we don't even have the Indy Road Course this year. I just realized. I'm glad, but just got reminded of that. All right, so yeah, last year in the race, Shane Van Gisbergen got 10th in his second start there. So it's something. Maybe, but I would be a little shocked if I don't think SVG will be quite as far back as 10th. But I do think that there will be at least one surprise driver up in that top 5. And at this point, SVG wouldn't be a surprise. In fact, I would probably say Kyle Busch being in the top 5 would be more of a surprise than SVG. So here we go. Now they're talking with that Shane Van Gisbergen's crew. This is a really good chance here, and it looks like it's going to be a big day for him. Hey, Christian, how's it going? Alright, so here we go. We're settling in. Kyle Larson back up into the top 10, so assuming that he fixed whatever was wrong with his car earlier, he might have a shot if he gets one, maybe 2 more overtimes, but we'll have to wait and see here. Busch, Larson, MTJ, Hamlin, SVG. I mean, hey, if that's the exact finishing order, I'd be happy with it because Kyle Busch gets the win, but I don't know. And say, I'd be, I don't know, I'd be looking for at least one Ford maybe in the mix. I don't know if it would maybe be an Austin Cindric type of day, maybe a Joey Logano, maybe a Michael McDowell getting in the mix, maybe somebody further back. And say, not to mention, remember, Corey LaJoie is qualified inside the top 5 for this weekend's Cup race, so it's possible that he has a hot rod under him that could be capable of winning. Now, I'm not picking him to be top 5 or even top 10, but he could. No problem, Christian. Happy to have you guys along for the ride here as we lights are off in the pace car and we are ready to go back racing. Again, you got Sam Mayer on the inside. SVG will be on the outside, but SVG is the control car here. Then you've got Hill and Kligerman, Karaman, Love, Nemechek and Custer, Austin Green, and Kyle Larson round out your top 10. Weatherman and Jones rounding out row 6. Row 7 is LeBay and Poole. Brad Perez and Jeremy Clements make up row number 8. Row number 9 is Chandler Smith and Anthony Alfredo. And rounding out the top half of the field is Parker Retzloff and they're showing the actual rows and what they picked, and I think that my list was a little bit off, but for the most part, it's pretty accurate. Retzloff and Gallagher, the last drivers up inside that top 20. As the pace car is going to start to make that move towards pit road as it gets ready to dive for cover, and leaves the field in the hands of SVG and Sam Mayer. As we get ready to go racing here, as we're in the final corner, and green flag's out, and we're back to racing here at the Circuit of the Americas. And here we go, Shane Van Gisbergen, he launches, he goes all the way down, takes a very defensive line, but that leaves a big space open on the top side, potentially for drivers to coast in. And he gets a bit of a bumper here from the back here. Austin Hill to the race lead. Austin Hill's got the lead. Now you got Sage Karam to second. Let's go, Sage Karam. Sage Karam out of Nazareth, Pennsylvania, up to second. SVG's back to third here. And I say he's going to have to fight with Karam here to try, because Karam's not going to give up this spot very easily, and that's going to allow Hill to potentially break away if we don't see another caution flag. There we go. SVG nails. Oh! Again, SVG misses that green, but I guess the green must not be a mandatory thing, I guess. I thought that hitting the green was a mandatory thing. You got to keep at least 2 tires out in the green. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought in those corners you had to hit the green. But again, I've seen multiple drivers missing them and not getting penalized. So here we go. Austin Hill versus SVG now for the lead. So here we go. A lot of wheel spin. You got, let's see, SVG coming down into the first set of corners here for the. I don't even know what you call this part of the track, but the parts. Say I guess we'll call it the backstretch S's. I don't know what you call the part where you go way down and the way back up. Yeah, I mean. As I legitimately, I don't know what you call a track, what you call that part of the track. But here we go. Now they're into the carousel, the nice big sweeping corner here. Getting ready for the final 2 corners of the. Getting ready again. You got the white flag lap, still a full lap to go. Hill is out front. SVG trails as they come through the final 2 corners. Last corner here again. White flag will be out this time. White flag at the line this time. White flag, 1 lap to go. Next flag ends the race. Hill takes the lead. Hill has the lead at the line. We're going to have to wait and see. Kyle Larson up to second, or up to third here. You got Nemechek to 4th. Karam back to 5th here. Let's see. AJ Allmendinger back up into the top 15 here. He's absolutely charging his way through the field, but let's say he has absolutely no chance of getting there at this point. But right now you got Hill, SVG, these two battling it out. Kyle Larson has re-entered the mix here at the front. Could Kyle Larson end up taking this one from Austin Hill here? Let's see. They all go around that inside corner. Here we go. Rounding the the front stretch S's here. As they head into the big corner leading to the final the final time down the back straightaway here. Yeah, I mean, I'll say he's won. I think he's already won 2 of the 4 races so far. This would be the 5th Xfinity Series race for the season. This is Xfinity Series race number 5, I believe. And here we go. The 21 of Hill continuing to hold him off here. Oh yeah, I'm sure AJ is not happy with Ty Gibbs, and I would be shocked to see them keep it civil on the racetrack afterwards. We'll stay tuned for a little bit after the thing, because I want to see both what they... Oh! Contact! Shea Van Gisbergen breaks the front end of his car! He just ruined the front end of his car to move the 21. That's something you got to be better about if you're going to race NASCAR. You can't go and ruin your own car to try and move somebody out the way. And Kyle Larson takes the lead here at Circuit of the Americas. Into the final 2 corners. 1 corner to go. Kyle Larson takes the lead, courtesy of SVG. It is Kyle Larson taking the checkered flag. The 17 of Kyle Larson wins in Austin. Kyle Larson first. SVG comes home second. Austin Hill third. 4th, Nemechek. And rounding out the top 5, it's Cole Custer with the 5th place finish. 6th, Sage Karam. Not Sage Karam. Sorry, that is Parker Kligerman 6th. 7th, Jesse Love. 8th, Austin Green. 9th, Chandler Smith. And rounding out your top 10 tonight is Sam Mayer. But man, what a missed opportunity there for SVG. He had the fastest car there at the end of the race. It was double overtime, but you got to keep your cool if you're going to try and win this race. He ran right into the back of the 21 trying to move him, and ultimately he ends up paying the price. He broke the front end of his car and was not able to win that one. Oh yeah, Kyle definitely got really lucky there that SVG didn't know how to correctly move someone out the way. Just ran right into the back of him, and yeah, I mean it wasn't like Larson forced him the same way. I know I criticized I think it was Bowman for roughing up someone in the truck or Xfinity Series race here back in year one of the this racing. But yeah, I mean, you just got to be more gentle about that. You can't just run flat out into the back of it. I would be shocked if he didn't knock the radiator out, but he only had about 2 corners left to go for SVG, and he could have won that race. Man, what a lucky break there. Yeah, SVG pulled a Danica. He tried to wreck somebody else and ends up ruining his own race in the end of it. I mean, I know he's not going to be happy about that one, but he did it to himself. I mean, I know overtime wasn't his fault, but again, you got to play around the rules that are there. So Larson gets the win, and again, if you guys are only joined for the race reaction, thank you guys for joining. Again, we'll be back tomorrow for the Cup race reaction. As I said, we'll stay live for a few minutes because I want to see the potential altercation between Gibbs and what's his name? Gibbs and Allmendinger. Also, I want to hear from SVG, but I am gonna also do our full field rundown through the leaderboard. But again, if you guys only tuned in for the reaction, thank you guys for joining in, and we will see you guys tomorrow. But again, we will still be staying live because again, I want to see the reaction. And again, as always, we go and give credit to every driver in the field. So. Here we go. So again, we've talked about we went and chatted out the top 10 already. We'll go through them real quick. Kyle Larson, Shane Van Gisbergen in second. Third, Austin Hill. Fourth, John Hunter Nemechek. Fifth, Cole Custer. Sixth, Parker Kligerman. Seventh, Jesse Love. Eighth, Austin Green. Ninth, Chandler Smith. And rounding out your top 10 is Sam Mayer. AJ Allmendinger fights his way all the way back up to 11th place after having to start tail of the field. With 2 laps to go. That is impressive speed there. And yeah, AJ is not happy. If he was able to run that fast, I guarantee he is not happy that he had to go and pass that many cars. Parker Retzloff 12th. 13th, Anthony Alfredo. He spun midway through this race. He comes home with a decent finish. Nice job. Justin Allgaier 14th. Nothing to complain about there for him. Ryan Sieg, another driver who spun out midway through this race but didn't ultimately bring out a caution, comes home inside the top 15. Brendan Poole 16th. Brandon Jones, after getting that penalty at the end of stage 2, losing stage number 2 on the penalty, comes home 17th. They're talking with Austin Hill. I want to see this replay, or not the replay, but what he has to say about this one. What are the emotions right now as you get out of the car? What happened? Let's see. Yeah, obviously I'm frustrated that we just lost. Yeah, the race. Had such fast race car. Yeah, that's pretty standard. Yeah, he made a mistake early in the race, cutting the course, which put him behind the 8 ball. Let's see. Come on, something interesting. Come on. Again, I think we'll get some interesting quotes for sure. SVG, Allmendinger, Ty Gibbs. I'm sure we'll get some. Say, got into the back of them, trying to clear them. But, yeah. Alright, looks like we're not going to get much out of Austin Hill, so let's go ahead and resume reading off these. So, again, Brandon Jones. Sage Kara must have gotten spun on the last lap because he was inside the top 10 and falls all the way to 18th. He had a really good race going, ultimately comes home 18th. That's a little bit unfortunate, but not the worst run for but the best Nazareth, Pennsylvania driver from this weekend after what happened with Andretti's rear axle. Brad Perez comes home 19th, and R.C. Anderson rounds out your top 20 here in the Xfinity Series field. Jeremy Clements 21st. 22nd is Leland Honeyman Jr. Daniel Kvyat comes home 23rd. 24th for Blaine Perkins. And rounding out your top 25 here today is Haley Deegan in the 15 car. Ty Gibbs comes home 26th after the contact with AJ Allmendinger late in the race. Patrick Gallagher comes home 27th. 28th is Alex LeBay. 29th is Kyle Weatherman, and that's the last car on the lead lap. Jeb Burton comes home 30th, 1 lap off the pace. Josh Bilicki, 2 laps down, comes home 31st. Sheldon Creed fights his way all the way back to only 3 laps behind the race, which is a very impressive stat there. Oh, here we go. SVG's talking. Let's go ahead and see it. But, yeah, Ryan Ellis, 5 laps off the pace. Riley Herbst, 5 laps off the pace. All right, let's see. Yeah, we got better and better. Time at it. So, yeah, he definitely got better throughout the race. And, yeah. Okay, I think he's... So, yeah, I mean, he didn't say anything really about the move at the end, but no, it was some awesome racing, which, in all fairness, it was. Ed Jones comes home 8 laps off the pace in 35th. Sammy Smith comes home 36th, 14 laps off the pace. Ty Dillon, 17 laps off the pace in the 37th position. And Josh Williams rounds out the field tonight in the 26th position, finishing 38th. So that is the full Xfinity Series field. And again, we are going to and they're going to be bumping us to bowling. So I guess that's all we've got for interviews. So we got interviews with at least 2 of the with all of the top 3 there. But yeah, there we go. Thank you, Stupid Roofer, for popping in here. Northwest Pennsylvania there. Nice. Not too bad. Creed was 6 laps down. He managed to fight and get 3 of those laps back throughout the race, which is just a staggering number to imagine him getting back, which I still don't know how he pulled that one off. But once again, massive congratulations to Kyle Larson on his win here today. We'll get ready for the Cup race tomorrow. If you guys are new here, of course, hit the like button and subscribe. If you guys are new, so you guys don't miss any future videos or live streams. Again, we'll be back tomorrow to see if Kyle Larson can go ahead and sweep the weekend. Shane Van Gisbergen comes home brutal 2nd place. But, yeah, until next time, hopefully you guys enjoyed. We will see you guys next video. Live stream, whatever you guys had to do with the rest of your night. Have a great night, everybody, and goodbye!